Track conditions here today, we talked about the length of this track, just under 2 miles distance. We're going 64 laps here today, so you'll probably see one pit stop through the course of the day. The condition, it is hot and slick. The banking, pretty much zero all the way down. A few turns have 3 degrees of banking, but virtually a flat racetrack.
The pit rule today, you can change 4 tires on a stop, but you cannot change tires and refuel on the same stop. You have to make 2 different stops to put tires and fuel in. Dan, let's get your keys to the race today.
Yep, again, you got to be smooth, but you got to take care of your transmission. It's so good shifting through your gears. You've got to be smooth, not to get it locked in between gear and tear the gearbox out of these cars. It's very, very important. So the drivers have to be smooth shifting through the transmissions. Get in that race rhythm early. You have to get in that rhythm. You have to get comfortable. You have to settle down. Don't overdrive them corners. You have to figure out your lift points and getting back on the gas points. So try and get in that rhythm a little bit earlier. So important here. Stay on the racetrack. So important to stay on the racetrack here. A lot of these drivers, you'll see them in the speed bumps out in the grass. Hey, if you have to go a little bit slower to stay on the racetrack, that's what you need to do. And that comes patience, and of course, that comes with experience. And as a rookie, as you get more and more time, you'll understand that you need to have patience to stay on the racetrack on these road races.
Dan, some guys will tell you that when you go a little slower, you're actually going faster.
Oh, you're exactly right. As a driver, it's hard for us to do, but if you slow down, to go fast.
Well, the light is out on the pace truck, as you see, as they come down the big sweeping turn there, turn 10, and they come down on turn 11, and that's where you really see a lot of the passing. You see them come down here to basically the end of the racetrack. And that is a hard right turn.
Well, it really is. It's almost ironic. You got the fastest turn in the racetrack at turn 10, and then the slowest, pretty much the slowest turn in the racetrack, turn 11. A lot of passing goes on there. That's where you can root a guy out of the way, but you got to take care of your equipment, not knock that fender in.
Kind of a short track move, if you will.
Well, exactly
the
right.
Bump and run.
You're down in the first gear, and if you're going to do something, make the pass, that's the time to do it. But you got to get in hard and overbreak them.
See, there's the pit road, and we're about ready to go green here. It'll be Holmes and P.J. Jones to start the race. Up the hill they go onto the bridge.
Still on your right. Still there by corner. Still there by corner. Clear all around. Clear all around. Find your line right there. Good job. Good start.
You hear spotter Bill McAnally actually on the top of the roof. Normally a spotter Joe, they put him down in turn 11. 2 spotters on this racetrack because it's so hard to see all the way around.
Bill McAnally, the owner of that race team, who you were hearing on the radio on the start of that race, as the whole pack rather, will be out into single file right now.
Good feeling to get single file this early on. It's so important. Just get the feel of the race car, get some heat in them tires, go take a lap or 2. That's what a driver needs to do, and get in that so important rhythm that we talked about.
Down through the S's they come. Holmes and P.J. Jones.
Fast part of the racetrack here, Mike, like you said, down in turn 10, seeing some 140 mile an hour speeds. You're really toting the mail down there. Then you go down hard into 11 and hard on the brake pedal. That's where all the passing happens. Right through here, down in turn 11.
See Jason Bowles in the 22 and the 21 of David Mayhew. We mentioned Bowles won 2 road course races in this series a year ago, but 64 laps for this series. This is a long race, and I think patience is a word that a lot of these guys have to practice here today.
It is so much. Not try the race the guy in front of you, race to racetrack. Figure out where you need to shift to make the car a little bit faster. Figure out what you need to do to outbrake a guy like you see going down in the corner here. It's just so important to get in that rhythm.
That is Jeff Berkshire in the 46 car, taking a position away from Jim Ward. Berkshire, 3rd in points, which had a tough starting position, is trying to make his way up. Now maybe a battle for the lead. P.J. Jones on the inside of Eric Holmes.
Looks to the inside again. These guys have got to race hard, but be careful. It's so early. Don't get the car off the racetrack.
Side by side as they come down through the S's. And it's going to be P.J. Jones taking the lead. And you hear Bill McAnally say, okay, it's all right now to be second.
Exactly right. He says, let them buy you. Good job. Let them go. Long way to go.
I thought, by the way, P.J.'s dad, Parnelli Jones, former Indy 500 winner, actually a former Sprint Cup winner. He won in a couple of races at Darlington, among some other places. Did a great job with the start your engines.
He did. Absolutely. Looks like he's done that before. He's been around a long time, been around racing all his life.
Look again at that pass for the lead. I think Eric Holmes just said, hey, it's too early to battle you right here.
They did. They got in that right-hander there. Oh, see,
Barkshire turns around. There's some damage on the right rear of that car. We talked about Jeff Barkshire, not a good starting position. Trying to really hustle that car to the front. Look at the damage on the left side. Oh, what a tough day it's going to be for Barkshire. This is an underfunded team out of Auburn, Washington.
Tough break for him this early in the race. We just talked about it. Wow, he just, I don't know, he was really cruising through there. Not sure if he had too much of a runner. I tell you, Mike, he almost looked like he may have had a tire go down, or I don't know. He really shot off that corner.
Well, we're under caution today for the first time with Jeff Barkshire getting into that tire wall over there, and there is some heavy damage on his car. Not good news for the youngster from Washington State. P.J. Jones is our leader. Eric Holmes running second. There you see Jeff Barkshire pulling his car down on pit road to the attention of his crew. This is, I mentioned, an underfunded team. This is their only race car. Let's go down to Natalie Taylor.
Guys, I was just talking to Steve Dyken back here, and basically the car's driving okay. The thing they're worried about is the fender, so they wanted to give that a shot, take a look, and see what's going on.
All right, Natalie, thanks a lot, and hopefully he can get out there, because not only is he racing for a championship, he's third overall in points, but in the rookie points, he's obviously having a great year. Oh my goodness, David Mayhew.
No, David Mayhew. Wow.
That is huge. This is the Richard Childress developmental car.
Jim Offenbach, car owner on that car. David is out of the race car. As you see him there, he's turning the power off that car. Not sure exactly what may have gone wrong here.
How many bad things can they have happen to this car this year?
I know
My goodness.
they have just had all kinds of gremlins just come out and really grab him. You see him there running in fourth position, pull right off the racetrack. Kind of unusual for a motor just to let go like that, especially under caution. Normally it'll start knocking and just shut off, but obviously it looks like this thing really lit up. See the smoke coming out of that car?
Well, Dan, as you know, this is a team that has had engine problems all year long, and in the last race at Colorado, they actually changed engine builders and thought they'd had all those problems solved and behind them. But they had a tough time at Iowa, and they had a tough time at Phoenix. And this is a team that, with Steve Portengay as the crew chief, Jim Offenbach of Golden Gate Meat Company owns it, and the Bay Biodiesel is a sponsor on it. Richard Childress behind it. That's a Childress car right out of the Childress stables from North Carolina. But boy, another tough day for David Mayhew. We'll be back with more of the Bennett Lane Winery 200. Boy, a tough break early for David Mayhew in this Bennett Lane Winery 200 from Infineon Raceway. Mayhew started fourth, but you saw the smoke come out and Mayhew dive out of the race car. His crew chief, Steve Portengay, with Natalie.
Yeah, guys, I'm with Steve. Steve, tough break, but what exactly happened out there?
I don't know. We've been up here. We tested up here 2 days, been fast the whole time. We were here, qualified fourth. Been real conservative. We only made 2 laps that last practice because we've been wanting to save all the equipment, save the brake pads, save the car, and he was just cruising. And it started right from the get-go. The Bay Biodiesel Chevrolet, when he started up, we started earlier, everything was fine. And then when he started up, he noticed that the volt gauge was only at 10. And we've been playing with the fans, turning them off and on, and just trying to milk the thing along so we can get to our fuel stop. And then all of a sudden, all the wiring caught on fire. So we're not going to give up by any means. We got real good people behind us with the Bay Biodiesel and Molecule, RCR, Golden Gate Meat Company, the owner right now. Hopefully, he's told us earlier 4 strikes and we're out. And we had a bad race at Phoenix, bad race at Iowa, bad race at Colorado. So we're not going to have a bad race here.
That's the attitude. Just saw Richard Childress walking away as well. Guys, back up to you.
Yeah, that's been tough. Richard was with him at Phoenix where, you remember, he blew a motor. They finished 30th. Green is back out, and it is Eric Holmes in front of P.J. Jones. There was quite the discussion about who should be first, who should be second.
Yeah, there was. PJ had actually passed Eric there past the start-finish line, but you have to complete that whole lap and get it under timing and scoring to be scored the official leader. So PJ felt that he had actually led a whole lap, but NASCAR says no, so they put him back in second place. But Mikey's got such a good race car. I mean, he feels good about it. There's still a long way to go. He can jump right back up there. There's no need to worry.
There's your points leader, Mike David, currently running 9th. He started at 10th. Ran over the rumble strips there.
See, Eric locked them brakes up down there, getting in the corner hard. PJ thought about it, and he said, no, I got plenty of time. I think I'll wait.
Yeah, he really did jump on him there, didn't he?
He did. You got to be careful not to lock them brakes up too much here at a track like this, because you'll flat spot them tires, and then you've got major issues. You've got to come down and get a tire. So drivers do got to be careful not to skid that tire and lock it up totally.
Well, you heard Steve Portgate talking about they were hoping to be able to make it to a fuel stop. One fuel stop will do it in this race.
Yeah, well, we figure around 30 laps. If we see a lot of green flag racing, if we see a lot of cautions there early, it may be 20, 25 laps. You'll see some of these drivers coming in and starting their pit cycle. Then they'll be done for the day.
We saw Greg Pursley a moment ago get off the course, but right back on it. As Eric Holmes, the pole sitter, 3-time winner this year in this series, continues to lead.
See Ken Shrader there.
Shrader's in the 53. The 41 is Ryan Foster, who has had some good moments in this series.
Shrader presently being scored in the 13th position, so he is working his way up there slowly but surely.
Foster with something to prove. He was that developmental driver for Richard Childress a year ago and was replaced and came here to Infineon, and he's run a couple of races this year with something to prove. Field pretty much single file now as they head down the S's.
Hard braking right through this part of the corner again. Driver just has to get in that rhythm, and rhythm is everything. When you get in that rhythm, Mike, we talked about it, sometimes it feels like you're actually going slower, but on the clock you're actually faster. And a lot of times it'll take a spotter, a good spotter or a crew chief to tell the driver, hey, you're overdriving these corners, take your time, just get in that rhythm.
If you've never watched this series, there are two kinds of drivers in this series. There is the young, up-and-coming driver with the dream to make it on to the Truck Series, to Nationwide, or the Cup. And then there are the guys, the veterans, who are perfectly comfortable being right here, and this is where they want to make their name and stake their claim in stock car racing. We're seeing a lot of the youngsters like Eric Harten in the 5, and there's a veteran, Jeff Jefferson, in the 42, 3-time champion in the Northwest Elite Series.
Jefferson, good car there on the inside. You see him outbrake there. Eric Harten able to drive down in the corner a little bit better and keep that car on the racetrack. Again, keep that car between these yellow lines. So important.
That was the battle for 16th place there between Harten and Jefferson.
See, Eric Harten's got it. Look at that. He's able to navigate through there, and his car turns. Looks like he's got a little bit car that turns good left turns on that race car, and that was able to help him.
And that 88 car there, one of the teenagers in this series, Jamie Dick. And here, the veteran Eric Holmes, 33 years old, out of Escalon, California. Ty Joyner, the crew chief on that car, and well, they have been dialed in since they unloaded off the truck.
See Jason Bowles there in the 3rd position. Crew chief Bill Sedgwick, veteran driver in this series. He really felt that they had a car to beat here today. He says, we've got a good race car. I think we can really win this race. And look at that, 4th place, Jim Englebright.
Well, that sponsor, Jelly Belly, is in Fairfield, California, which is basically shouting distance from this racetrack.
We talked about Jim earlier. He started in 8th position. He is currently the big mover of the race right now. He's moved his way all the way up to 4th. And again, this is his type of racetrack. Jim Englebright is a muscle man. He likes really working that car, throwing it to the right, throwing it to the left. He really enjoys this road racing.
We're talking about Jason Bowles. You see there running 3rd place, and his crew chief, Bill Sedgwick. Sedgwick actually won in the West Series here at Infineon. He's won a couple of series championships, and I think that's got to be an advantage to that young driver to have a veteran like Bill Sedgwick as his crew chief.
Oh, it really does. It gives him so much confidence, because when Bill talks on the radio as a driver, that's what you want to hear. You want to hear people like that. His wife, Kay Sedgwick, she runs the radio truck, Performance Radios. They furnish all our radios for us in this series, and that family's been around racing an awful long time, and my hat's off to them.
Well, Eric Holmes lost the lead momentarily to P.J. Jones, but because of the caution, has it back and has not relinquished it. Holmes, the 2006 champion in this series, Ran a bunch of the East last year before coming back west. For more on Eric, let's go down to Natalie.
Hey guys, I was listening to his crew chief Val McAnally giving him some pointers, and basically Eric is killing PJ on the technical side of things. The way PJ is gaining on him though is because of the hard braking. So once again, you know Bill's always giving Eric great advice.
Well, braking is everything around this racetrack, guys. And a lot of these teams yesterday, I seen them changing actual brake rotors. They were changing the size of these rotors. You can put thicker and skinnier rotors on these cars. And a lot of these teams were doing a lot of rotor change yesterday.
The 13 car there is Todd Souza, 43 years old, finished 14th in this race a year ago, but got a great starting position and is now running in the 6th position. And maybe if there's a surprise in this race, it is Todd Souza, because right behind him, that is Tom Hubert in the 25 car, known across the country as a great road racer.
Yep, Tom's another road race ringer. He's like the Boris said, you might say, in the road race series. He's a ringer, and I tell you, he knows how to get around these racetracks, these road race tracks like this, and he's really proven that in the past. So when you bring a guy like this to these racetracks, other drivers just kind of look at him and say, man, if we can beat that guy, we know we've done something at a track like this.
Souza is a part-time racer in this series. He's only run 8 times, but he does have a 6th place finish in this race a couple of years ago. But I don't think it's going to be long before Tom Hubert's able to give him a challenge. Again, Dan, I think we're seeing a lot of patience here from a lot of drivers. Look how low on the inside Hubert got, trying to make a move on Souza.
Yeah, they've actually drive way below that apron on the racetrack, all the way down to the barrels. That's why NASCAR actually put barrels down in the racetrack there, keep the drivers from getting real low.
I talked about Jamie Dick a moment ago. The youngster has turned around. He's headed in the wrong direction now down there in turn 11.
Looks like he gets turned around. What NASCAR actually have is a local caution. Guys, there's just a blue flag that they wave on the entry of the corner. They do not throw a full course caution when a car spins out like this, and that's good. That way a driver can get right back underway.
Look at the spin again from Jamie Dick out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Just drives it, looks like just drives in the corner a little bit too hard, but he may have too much rear brake in that race car. We can adjust the front and rear bias, they call it in these race cars, to give the back wheels more brake, or the front and the back wheels of this 88 car actually locked up, and that's what caused that car to spin.
Nice move by Stan Silva Jr. in that 65 to avoid him. By the way, Jamie Dick's dad, a lot of folks remember Jimmy Dick as a guy who ran in this West Series back in the early 90s. Mike Nake is a veteran crew chief on that car, trying to teach this youngster. And this is one of the guys who's in this series to develop himself. He's just a teenager, and a lot of folks think he has a bright future. Just learning on this road course here today.
Yeah, he can get around this racetrack, and again, being from a family of racers from years and years back, that really helps. I tell you, to have your family and your father be able to talk you through some of this stuff before you actually get out here makes a big difference. Dan, we've seen this field kind of string out. If you look on the racetrack, they're all over the racetrack are the cars. And is this what you expected in this race today? That we were seeing a lot of patience, and I think a lot of guys are not trying to get more out of their race car than what exactly they have underneath. No, and they know that. And NASCAR talks to these drivers and says, guys, it's a long race. Use your head. You're professionals. Let's have a good show for the fans here today and also TV. Look at P.J. Jones. He is really muscling that car, Mike.
You know, P.J. Jones wants to go to the front. Did you see it?
Whoa,
look at the brakes on Holmes.
Wow, they have made contact. These guys got to be careful. Look at the damage on the left front of P.J.'s fender.
They're behind you by 3.
Here's spotter there, Eric Holmes.
Well, P.J. Jones, make no doubt about it, went for the lead. Meanwhile, a car is spun off the track. That is Tony Toast.
Got turned around. There'll be a local caution in that corner, but hopefully Tony can get back underway. Looks like he's going to be okay.
He's not toast yet.
No, he's not, Mike. He made it smoking like toast. Look at this battle for second. These guys are really rumbling here. Got to be careful. Take care of that equipment.
On your left. You're all clear now.
Eric Holmes, a spotter, talking to him. His spotter Joe down in turn 11.
And pulling away.
That's Jim Englebright in the 1 car, the car with all the jelly beans on it. Right behind him is Jason Bowles.
Talked about Jim Englebright, started 11th here today, and he's got a race car. He's got to take care of that equipment. If he can be there and enter towards the end, I think he'll be up there in that top 5.
A lot of folks may remember back in 2002, it was Englebright, the driver of that 1 car, who actually ran a cup race for Richard Childress here at Infineon. He is known as a great road racer. Like
Jeff Berkshire again just has a little trouble getting through that corner. Whoa! slid around, was able to keep it in the right direction.
And Tony Tost, I think he got a little help from Jason Patterson in the 17.
Little love tap there, doesn't take much. That's what's kind of cool about this kind of track. You can keep on digging when you get spun. There, a 3-car. Wes Banks turns himself around, I guess. Looks like just drove in a little bit too hard and able to keep it in the right direction.
You saw the 23 there of Alex Kennedy. He's just 16 years old, youngest driver in this race.
Wow, it'd have to be pretty spectacular to be 16 years old and come race a NASCAR race here at Infineon. That would be awesome.
He has raced here before, but that
Stay
was
with it, PJ. I told him to. Just stay with it, okay? Stay with it.
Spraker talking to PJ there. I'm going to stay with it, stay on top of it. He does have left front fender damage. We looked at it earlier. That fender on the 24 car PJ Jones is damaged.
Jeff Spraker, the crew chief on that car, and that's a name that has been around these regional series. He's got a car in the East Series as well, and that is the second car, the team car to Mike David. And Jeff Spraker and PJ Jones are buddies, and it's Spraker here who's coming in and handling all the engineering on that car this weekend.
So you see Eric Holmes locking that right front brake up there an awful lot on this 20 car. Eric's got to take care of them tires. We still got a long way to go, so may just have to adjust that brake bias that we talked about earlier in this race car. I'm not sure that they can adjust them, though, depending on what type of system they have. May have just a little bit too much front brake.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Jim Englebright. They're in the 1 car, Jason Bowles behind him, but Englebright is putting on a show here.
21 car David Mayhew has been released from the care center. That's good news.
Englebright's coming off a good finish. 7th place in the race at Colorado. That's Scott Ivey battling Kyle Kelly in the 7 car. 2 guys who are running in their first ever West Series races. You see the yellow tape on their bumpers signifying that they are both rookies.
Like running in 23rd, 24th position. These guys just doing a good job. Just keep it out there, take care of that equipment. See that checkered flag. You can learn so much if you race to full 64 laps at a race like this, and that's so important for these drivers to get experience and get seat time.
Kyle Kelly, we were talking to him, had a serious injury a year ago and has worked so hard to get back to be able to drive a race car, and today behind the wheel in a Camping World Series race. Back up front, it is PJ Jones, who finished 2nd in this race a year ago. David Gilliland won this race last year. Again, that's the son of Parnelli Jones, known as a good road racer. As you see this field pretty much strung out all over this racetrack.
Yeah, we talked about it, and again, that's really early in the race. That's what you want to do. You want to stretch out. You want to get your feel. If you got a good car, you can work your way through it and pick traffic out, but you do not want to be running side by side too much like you've seen Eric Holmes earlier.
Well, there we were just talking about him a moment ago. Scott Ivey getting a little too racy, turns that car right around.
Talked about side by side racing. These guys are going back and forth and back and forth, and again, you just got to try and pass a guy. If you can't pass him, then you need to, oh, he actually just drove over the curb.
Well, I think Kyle Kelly helped him out a little bit there.
I'd say so. Kyle had such a run going there, he couldn't get that race car stopped. Tried to take a real early apex over the turtle, but that's not the racing groove. No grip there.
You know what's so interesting about this race and the driving skills needed to get around it, as you see, neither one of those cars.
And Kelly just gets in here, and he's just got too much momentum going.
You talk about the driving skill. There are some long sweeping turns. We have the S's, the uphill, downhill, and here, turn 11, which is really a tight short track turn, and you've really got to woe the car down a whole lot to get around that corner.
Yeah, you do. You've got to be down on that brake hard and have good control, good car control through that corner to be able to advance positions, and a lot of drivers get in there just too hot.
Here's Jack Sellers in the 15. Gentleman Jack.
75 car there, Jonathan Hale.
And back up front, PJ Jones got some damage on that race car, but as he heads now up in the turn 1 and 2 and up the hill,
All clear, lots
He'll
of
take
room.
that right, head down the chute over to turn 7 in the S's.
Spotter telling him you're all clear. Going around you there. It's a good feeling. He's got a good race car like we talked about. And this is a second car of Bennett Winery, sister car for Mike David.
You know, I talked to Mike about that, and Mike is actually the one who prepared this car. Said they really worked long hours to get that car ready for P.J. Jones. Randy and Lisa Lynch, who own Bennett Lane Winery, sponsoring this race, had wanted both cars. Although Randy and Lisa got a little deal going there because Lisa is officially the owner of the 24 and Randy's the owner of the 2.
A little battle going on there between husband and wife. See which car finishes first, I'm sure.
Long green flag run here, and it is the credit of some of these drivers who have been very patient, very smooth. There's Mike David. David has made his way to 8th position. He started 10th when the green flew on this race today.
And we talk about him so much as Mr. Patience. I mean, he's a veteran. He knows how to win championships. He always takes care of his equipment. He's always there at the end.
There's Paul Morris in the 09 having some trouble. He is out of Australia. Paul actually runs a driving school in Australia, driving for Dick Midgley in that 09 and his first ever West race.
Possibly you're going to see a caution here.
And it might be a short one. Yeah, the yellow is out. Caution is out here after a long green flag run.
And I'll tell you guys, it's possible we may see some pit stops because we're 22 laps or so into this race. No, not 22 laps, I'm wrong. But we may see a few guys short pit here early in the race and gamble, especially with the open motor. Mike David runs an open motor, gets about 10 more laps than the spec motor does. Believe it or not, it runs a 390 carburetor versus the 830 carburetor that the spec motor runs. The spec motor burns a lot more fuel. So there is 2 types of motors in this race here today. And like I said, one runs a big carburetor, one runs a smaller carburetor. So one does get an extreme amount more of mileage. So you may see guys like Mike David that have open motors come in here early, short pit, and then they'll be good for the end of the race. So we'll just have to see what type of strategy plays out.
Well, P.J. Jones is our leader as we're under caution, and earlier Natalie Taylor had a chance to talk with P.J.
I'd say one of the new faces, so to speak, here in the Camping World West, but you finished second here at this race last year. Why this race, PJ? Why are you driving today?
Well, yeah, Randy Lynch, a good friend of ours in Bennett Lane Wineries, and I'm actually, my car owner is Lisa Lynch, so, we got a little family feud going. But, it's fun, I mean, to come here and just race. I love this racetrack. We've had some good runs. Last year 12th in the Cup race and second in the West race, and I've always liked racing West. I think I done one of my first West races in the early 90s. So, it's just fun. I'm from California. It's a West Coast series, and it's nice to be here and race against all these good guys. So.
Now, you like road courses, but you are getting into the car of the sponsor of the race. Talk a little about that. Family, friends, sponsor, you got a lot on your shoulders.
Oh, absolutely. We have an ultimatum. We got to win. So Randy might fire Mike and I, and we just, Randy decided to sponsor the race. So a little extra pressure, I think. We'd be nice to be a 1-2 finish for the Bennett Lane cars, and we'll see what we can do. Mike's running really well, and my car's real good. So we'll just... if we can just stay out of trouble, we need a little luck, and there's some good competition, so we'll just have to see.
And you keep mentioning Mike. It's because you're in points leader, Mike David's car. His team helped set up that car. Equipment good? How you feeling after practice so far?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We brought Jeff Spraker from Charlotte in to run my car, but Mike's, really these teams are not, let's face it, they don't have a lot of full-time employees like a Cup team would. So, for a one-car effort like Mike's to come in and run a second car, I mean, Mike really has, he's done a lot for me and my car, getting it ready, and his guys. So, it's a team effort. So if one of us wins, that'll be good, and hopefully we'll be first and second.
And you brought up that you're technically driving for Lisa Lynch, Randy's wife, and there's a little bit of a rivalry between the two cars.
Absolutely.
So what's Lisa? She's saying some trash talking to Randy?
Oh, absolutely. We talk trash to Randy all the time. So, we'll just have to see. Last year we beat him, so, they call that the girls' car, of course. I'm not a girl, but... we'll see. I think we can pull it off again. But we want to beat all the competition, not just our teammate.
All right, that's the word from P.J. Jones talking with Natalie Taylor. He leads the race, and he really has a stout race car. Mike David's done a good job putting that car together for him, Dan.
Yeah, he has, and I tell you, he's got a good race car. He's been around a long time, and again, he knows he's road racing. He knows what setup he really wants on these race cars. I mean, he knows these bias ply tires. He knows what they drive like. So it's so important to have a driver also that can kind of tell you what's going on.
We've not had many cautions. The pits are open, as you see the flag waving at the entrance. Be interested to see if anyone comes down.
Yeah, it looks like there you go. You're looking at Eric, kind of thinking about it. Not
Jason
sure exactly
Bowles,
what he
I
wants
think,
to
is
do.
going to come on pit road.
See, Mike David, we talked about it. These open motors, and not sure what Jason Bowles has got in there for a motor, but possibly another open motor where he gets that good mileage. He'll short pit now. Won't have to come in for the rest of the day.
Is this an advantage, Dan, right here?
Well, I think it is, especially a good race car that he's got. As long as he takes care of his tires and equipment. Again, the only other thing is when he takes fuel, if he comes back around and takes tires, he'll be done for tires for the rest of the race. So he's got to take care of them tires and make them last.
So Bowles is on pit road. Ken Shrader also on pit road. Austin Cameron is coming in. Your points leader, Mike David, is there. And again, the rule, you can fuel, but you cannot change tires while you're putting fuel in. Now, you can only do one or the other on a stop.
Now, correct. They'll have to come around again and do it in 2 stops. And you see, Mike David chose to take right side tires this time by. He can take 4 tires, and then he can come back around the next time and then take fuel. 4 crew members over the wall. May or may not take fuel. Again, you can take either tires or fuel. You have to make that choice. You're allowed a total of 8 tires for the race. So the 4 tires that they started on and these 4 tires that they're putting on is all that they are allowed. Pretty much Mike David is done for the whole race unless he has a tire go down or a flat tire or a damaged tire, then he can come in and change it.
That was a pretty smooth stop. Now, these guys in this series I can't think of any other race where they would change 4 tires on one stop. So this is very unusual for them to do. And again, with only 4 over the wall, it's quite an undertaking, but a good stop by Mike David there.
And it is. And for the folks at home watching, if you don't understand that, I mean, they can take 4 tires, obviously, at a time, but it's just a budget thing for the finances. It doesn't require a full 7-man pit crew, so it keeps the budget down on some of these teams, so they don't have to take 7 guys to every race so that they can do a full 4-tire change every time they come in. They come in and change 2 tires, they send the car back out, come around again, take their time, and do the left sides. And if everybody does the same thing, there's really no advantage.
The 3 leaders did not come in. P.J. Jones, Eric Holmes, and Jim Englebright. Those 3 stayed out on the racetrack.
Yeah, they did. And again, these guys chose to stay up front. Track position is so important at a road race here. And I tell you, one of the big rules in racing, and a lot of crew chiefs go by, is always follow the leaders. Stay in sync. Do not get off sync. Whatever the leaders do is what you do. That way you can stay in position and keep your position to possibly put your car in victory lane. So a lot of guys like to stay in sync, and that's what a lot of these drivers did here today. But some of these guys, obviously, with different fuel mileage issues, Mike, we talked about, that's probably their strategy.
Well, different strategies. Which one will play out at the end? That's going to be fun to watch and to see what happens as we get ready to go back to green here at Infineon Raceway.
See P.J. Jones again have a little left front damage on that tire, that fender, but not a problem on the race car, not dragging the tire. So lucky for P.J., it really did not affect his performance so far.
Mike David with that stop dropped back to 13th position, your points leader. Tom Hubert did not stop. He's up to 4th, and Todd Souza 5th. As we're getting ready to go back green flag racing.
Be ready now. Green flag, green flag.
The restart on lap 20. 64 will make up the Bennett Lane Winery 200. As you see the 23 car of Alex Kennedy trying to make a move, and what looks like
Max Dumouriez there on the outside. He got slowed down there. Not sure if he got down in the dirt or what, but he lost a few positions.
Johnny Borneman. His car has come to a stop out on the racetrack.
Damage on the left rear of that race car.
We talked about David Mayhew, and by the way, we saw Mayhew back out on the racetrack as the caution is out with Borneman's car coming to a stop. I don't know who's had worse luck this year in this series, David Mayhew or Johnny Borneman.
You're exactly right. Both these guys have just been bouncing back and forth. Just cannot get that monkey off their back. Unfortunate for them.
Borneman started the season off great with a 4th place finish at Roseville, but hasn't had a top 10 since and has run well. He ran well at Iowa, had a problem at Colorado as well, and obviously he's got a bad problem here today.
See the engine running on that race car. Natalie, what do you got down there?
Well, Jason was one of the favorites today's race. Artie's in once. What's the strategy for the rest of the race?
Our strategy is to put fuel in as soon as we can go the distance, and that was it. That was our number, whether it was green or yellow. Fortunately, it was yellow, so it's the way it goes. So it won the race last year. We'll see if we can do it again.
There you go. Short, simple, sweet. Guys, back up to you.
They're running toward the car.
Mentioned he won the races last year. He won 2 road course races a year ago. The one at the road course at Fontana and the really nice Miller Motorsports Park in Utah.
Yep, and he is really good on these road race tracks, so that makes a big difference.
We'll be back with more of the Bennett Lane Winery 200. Take a break now with our leader, P.J. Jones. Well, we thought for a moment we might be going green flag racing this next time by, but we're not. It maybe something developing here with Eric Holmes.
Yeah,
maybe deciding to come down on pit road with this caution continuing for at least another lap.
Eric said, is the green flag, is pit row open, let me know, and there it is. You see him diving down pit row, PJ to all the leaders. Well, now these guys are within range of making it to the end. Again, we talked about needed to be in the 20s, 20, 25. They're going to ride around for another lap or so under caution, so I think all these drivers can make it to the end, Mike. So important, just take your time, get down pit row, get them lug nuts tight. Them crew chiefs tell them, crew guys, take your time, get all them lug nuts tight. We don't want to have to come back down pit row.
So P.J. Jones, Eric Holmes, Jim Englebright, those 3 cars in your screen, the top 3 in the race.
Right here. Wheel straight, foot on the brake.
See Jim Englebright. PJ's crew.
That tire.
Get that tire. Could be a detrimental mistake. Lose a tire. You see them cleaning the grill. See if they pull that left front fender out. He's got damage on that fender.
Still another piece of tape on there,
Talk
Jeff.
about it right here. That fender is knocked in. It'd be pretty important to get that pulled off there, I would say. Just see if they mess with it or not. The car's been good. They may not.
Oh, you're clear all the way out. 1 lane, clear. Watch your speed.
Interesting that P.J. Jones took 4 tires, did not take fuel.
No, he did not. So he's got to come back down pit row again. It'll be interesting to see whether he comes around this time while the caution's still out. Take his fuel and then be done.
This is really going to shake up our field. Hope you'll join us for our next telecast of the NASCAR Camping World Series. Eric Holmes and Mike David continue their point battle during the California Highway Patrol 200 at the fastest half mile in the West, the Toyota Speedway in Irwindale. It comes to you live Friday, July 4th at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. HDNet is your home to the NASCAR Camping World Series all summer long. Well, the lead now is going to be inherited by Tom Hubert, who has not stopped. Jeff Jefferson in the 42 behind him, and then Jason Pattison will be running at the front. And how about Kyle Kelly? There you see the 7 car.
Max Dumouriez got turned around there early, so patience pays off. We talked about that.
But these guys have not stopped, and this is all going to cycle around in a moment because they are going to have to stop for fuel. And As you saw Mike David and P.J. Jones, they've taken tires.
Well, but you know what, Mike? They've got to come back down pit row also again, so the leaders will have to come back down pit row, but obviously these guys will have to make an extra stop for tires, but they can come and make their choice, and you're going to have to take fuel because you got to have fuel to make it to the end.
Well, I think you're also going to have tires, because nobody's going to run this race on 4 tires.
No, it'd be a long, hard day if you had to slide around there all day on the same 4 tires you started with, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to try to go green this time. And it will be Tom Hubert in the 25 car who will lead the field to green with Jeff Jefferson, veteran from the Northwest, right behind him, and then Jason Pattison in the 17 car.
He's got to stay single file. Any passing that gets done has to be to the right.
Saw in the background them pushing Johnny Borneman's car to the garage. Green is out, and Tom Hubert, a veteran road racer, heads up the hill around turn 1 and 2.
Like a piece of rubber flew out of the right side of that race car when he drove down in turn 1. I sure hope that's not off his car. It may have just been a piece of debris on the racetrack.
Look at Jason Bowles in that 22 trying to make up some ground. You heard Bill Sedgwick say they had a number that they were going to come in and take fuel, and they did.
There's Shrader. You see Shrader in 11th position.
P.J. Jones down on pit road under green.
Wow.
Will this be his fuel stop?
That may be. That's exactly what they're doing. They're taking fuel right now. Now's the time to do it. They know they got a good race car, so they can ride their way back up in front. Next caution will put them back in position. See him taking the second can of fuel, 22-gallon fuel cell. Back underway. Well, that's a little bit of strategy there, Mike.
You know what? That could really play out for P.J. Jones because his service is done, and now things are going to cycle around a little bit later on in the day. It's going to put him back a little bit down.
See, Jefferson looked like second place car down on pit row also. A lot of these guys choosing to come in and do it now. Max
the
Dumouriez.
76 of Max Dumouriez has not stopped, but Kyle Kelly in the 7th car all over him, and Austin Cameron back there.
Austin's been quiet here all day. Another Bill McAnally car. Again, he can get it done here on the road race also.
There's Austin Cameron, 3 times voted the most popular driver in this series. Driver of the 18, and can't see the number on that car, but not headed in the right direction, that's for sure.
Nope. Looks like a little bit of damage to parts and pieces laying in front of that race car.
Jeff Jefferson taking his fuel now.
Johnny Borneman up on jacks. Don't look good for him. Look like reaching inside that car.
Well, that may bring out the caution here. Yellow is out. I think that's Garland's self. 81 car. Indeed it is.
Yep.
Garland spun around.
Turned around there and bam. Hits the Bennett Winery sign. Knocks it down. But a little bit of right rear damage to the quarter panel. He threw the window net out.
That's not good to knock down the sponsor of the race. But
no.
Garland started 41st today, and looks like he is not going to be able to finish. Well, we talked about P.J. Jones. He got all of his service. He should be good to go. Let's go down to Natalie with more on the 24 car.
Yeah, Jeff, strategy is everything here at this track. Give us an idea of why you decided to bring him back 2 times in a row.
Well, last year we got beat on fuel mileage here, and we changed tires. So this year we decided, look, let's just try something a little different. We went ahead and changed tires when the opportunity presented itself. Then we decided, okay, we'll go ahead and top them off. You know, PJ's a pretty gifted road racer, and that gives us a huge edge. You got a half a second going through the window when you put him in the race car. So we're going to take advantage of what we have in him and try to be as conservative as we can on fuel and try to maintain as much track position as we can at the same time, and that's what we chose to do it that way.
Jeff, you compliment your driver, but with your driving background, now you're playing crew chief. That's got to give you some more insight to be able to talk to PJ and tell him the things that this road course needs.
That's a huge help to us. You know, I think it's like anything else. If you've done it before, you know what it's like to have to do it. And you tell him what you think he needs and what he's usually. Drivers have a tendency to want to ask questions. And if you can answer those questions before they ask them, it takes a lot off their mind for the race and it helps them get through the event. And that's what we do in all of our programs, be it the ARCA program with Dexter Bean and Glock or our E-Series program with a variety of drivers we use there. Our job on this side is to make it so he just has to worry about driving. And when you've driven before, you kind of know how frustrating it is when the crew chief says, what do you want to do now? They just want to drive. That you got to have an answer for them.
You mentioned your ARCA team, mentioned some of the E-Series teams. You have one heck of a schedule. Talk a little bit about how you maintain everything and how you ended up here.
I've got great people. We've been in business 28 years, and I've got a great group of people back home. We've got a shop in upstate New York. I've got good people there, and I've got a great bunch of folks in Mooresville, North Carolina that really make it so we can do this and work with some great people like the Bennett Lane folks and Randy and Lisa Lynch.
Well, Jeff, thank you for your time. And guys, we need to get back up to you to get back racing.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Natalie. And certainly, I think as we look towards the second half of this race, the 24 car is going to play into who wins this.
Oh, it
That's
is.
for sure.
And point well made there by Jeff Spraker. It's so important to have a crew chief that's been a driver in the past, Mike, because he can relate to what you're telling him. When you tell him push, he knows what a push is. You tell him loose, he knows what a loose is. He's already got it fixed mentally in his mind before you tell him. So big help for a driver to have a guy like Spraker on the box calling the shots.
By the way, whatever was wrong with Johnny Borneman, they seem to have gotten it fixed, and he is back out on the racetrack. Here comes Tom Hubert, who had inherited that lead, and Jason Pattison. We knew these guys were going to have to come in. They had not made either a tire or a fuel stop.
Yep, now's the time to do it. Get in there and get it done, especially while we're under caution. You don't have to pit under green because that would be detrimental. Hubert coming down pit row is crew tending to that race car. 17 car, Jason Pattison also makes his way down pit row.
Jason Pattison with a couple of top 10s this year, hoping for even better here today. He's been running well. Got a top 10 at Roseville, top 10 in Kyle, Texas. We're under caution again here with Garland Self spinning off the course and having to tow his car in. There's Moses Smith.
Another Bill McAnally entry. Moses started 7th here today. He was excited about his starting position, felt good about it, really felt that he's going to have a good top 5 finish here.
You know, all these guys have different backgrounds of where they come to get in this series. For Moses, he came out of the Star Mazda series. He was a champion in that series. They do run some road courses. Moses says he feels really comfortable on a road course. And of course, Bill McAnally puts a great car under him. McAnally with 3 teams in this series. And behind him, there's the beat-up car of Jeff Barkshire, who got in some trouble early, but I think has recovered nicely. He's going to be able to hopefully finish this race.
Well, he has. He's able to keep that car on the lead lap, keep it out of trouble, and that's what's important.
One thing you find at this racetrack, maybe that you don't see at some others, is when you have a caution, it is a long way around here at slow speed.
Yes, it is. I mean, it takes a minute and 20 seconds to get around here at race speed. So when you're riding around this racetrack at 35, 40 miles an hour, I mean, it takes some 4 minutes sometimes to get around this racetrack.
Well, we'll take a break, hopefully go green when we come back. Max Dumouriez has inherited our lead in the Bennett Lane Winery 200.
So you can see the safety vehicles on the racetrack. That tractor there on your left, obviously he's not in the race. He wouldn't. He'd have got lapped a few times, but
that'd be my speed there.
He could knock a few of them cars out of the way.
Well, Jason Bowles will restart 4th. Austin Cameron 3rd, and up front it's Max Dumouriez and Kyle Kelly. Kelly in the 7 car. 39th was his position to start this race.
He's got to feel good about it. He kept his nose halfway clean. If you remember, he was involved a little bit a few laps ago in an altercation, but
you see those hands out the window? Again, I think it's worth mentioning. This is a hot day.
Hot. That pulls air into the race car. When you put your hand out there, it's actually like a little little funnel in it. You can funnel that air right in there. A lot of these cars do not have air conditioners that blow into the helmet. They make an air conditioning system that actually blows cool air into your helmet. Of course, they cost about $2,000 or $3,000. So again, it's all about your budget and the funding. So in this series, unlike other series, cannot afford to have air conditioners in these cars, so that we just put vents in these cars to help blow air, cool air on the driver.
Well, the lights out on the pace truck. So hopefully this time around, if they come down and go around turn 11, they'll head to turn 12 and then the green flag, and we'll see what Kyle Kelly can do. He has, I've been keeping track here, he has not stopped yet, so he's going to have to stop, but he will get a chance to lead the Bennett Lane Winery 200. What a thrill it's got to be for that youngster in his first ever West Series race.
Absolutely. I mean, just a thrill to come out here, like you say, be here, much less lead a race here at Infinia.
Max Dumouriez behind him ran great a couple of weeks ago at Watkins Glen in the East Series before motor troubles put him out. Mike Olson owns that car, the former series champion in the East Series.
Max, another one that's never been here, Mike. This is his first time here also.
Green is back out. The restart on lap 28, 64 will make up this race as they head up the hill again. And look on the inside, making a move. That is Austin Cameron getting by Dumouriez. There's Jason Bowles in the 22.
Now these guys are coming, and Austin Cameron, again, he has used his head. He's just been kind of riding back there, saving his equipment. He has worked his way back towards the front. Wonder if Bill McAnally's spotter switches channels whenever the other car leads. I want a spot for that guy. I want to go to this other one. Got 3 of them here.
Well, the one that's done the best so far this year has been Eric Holmes, but Austin Cameron has had some good moments. He finished second in Kyle, Texas, a race earlier this year. There's Ken Shrader in the 53 car. Shrader has made his way into the top 5.
Shrader obviously knows how to get around this place. He's been around here a few times also. Here's a battle for the lead.
And it's Austin Cameron who will go to the front for the first time.
That was nice and smooth.
Looking to your inside. He's looking on your inside. He's there. He's there. Nice and smooth. Get him on the way off.
Around turn 11.
Austin slid up the racetrack there. Obviously not what he wanted to do, but he'll power down the front stretch here and see if he can outbrake him down into turn 1.
Austin Cameron seems to have a little more horsepower than Kyle Kelly, but Kelly outbraked him as you saw. They bumped.
There. All clear. He's all clear now. He's right.
But that was quite a bump. Do you see the left side of Cameron's car?
Yep, little damage there. Not good. Again, do not want to knock a fender in on a tire and have to come down pit row under green.
Jason Bowles moves into second place.
Got to be so careful.
And off the racetrack once again, Tony Tost, but he's going to get back on. There is no caution.
Back underway, and that's what's cool about a track like this. It's so forgiving, Mike. You get spun out, so he just drives down in the corner. May have gotten a little bit of help, but
Paul Morris in that 09.
So forgiving. Got a little bit of runoff room, a little gravel. Look at Philpott. Ryan Philpott sideways, man, turns himself around, but he gets back underway.
And we got a battle for the lead here. That's Jason Bowles in the 22, way down low, trying to outbrake Austin Cameron.
Still on your left. Clear on your left, clear all around.
And Cameron able to hold him off as they head back up the hill here under that bridge.
These two cars are virtually equal in handling speed. They just had to get out in that clear running. Stop banging into fenders in each other and keep that car on the racetrack.
Bowles is coming off a great run at the Colorado National Speedway where he finished 3rd.
Again, this race car that Jason's in is a road race car that's finished top 5 2 past West races.
And right behind him, you see Ken Shrader in that 53 get by Kyle Kelly. And Shrader's now in 3rd place.
Almost a little bit of contact there with Kelly.
I'll tell you what, don't count Ken Shrader out of this race today at all. More on Ken Shrader. Let's go down to Napa.
Exactly right, Mike. Can never count out Ken Shrader or Donnie Richardson as crew chief. You guys have been doing this so many years, specifically at this track. Can you pretty much go through this course and through your sleep?
You're right. I mean, we've been coming here a long time. I think the first race here was in '88, maybe, for this Nextel Cup. Kenny's been coming here since then. I came here a few years after that. So, but in general, the road racing thing kind of works out the same. You play the track position, you get your fuel, get that out of the way, play that track position game, be easy on the tires in the beginning, and you know when to go in the end. And then you just got to work it out from there amongst yourself on the racetrack. So, but Kenny's been doing this long enough. We'll let that be in his control. Once the tank's full, it's up to him. Maybe get this little Federated Auto Parts car in Victory Lane.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Kenny came in on that yellow, took fuel, and he's going to go out and try to hold off on the same tires. Guys, back up to you.
Hey, Mike, you see Donnie Richardson had a helmet on. He's actually a crew member and the crew chief. He goes over the wall, and he also crew chiefs at the same time. That's it's kind of cool, you know, to be able to go over the wall and still be a crew chief. But talking to Donnie Richardson, he said, I like to do that. He said, that way I'm a little bit more in control.
I give him some credit because he's been doing this for a long time.
He has.
He's still in good shape enough to go over the wall. That's good.
Well, he knows if he stops, he won't be able to get back over the wall.
There's Jason Bowles, who has taken the lead for the first time today, as saw a moment ago, and now we're getting some side-by-side racing. Dumoulin and Kelly. There's the 71 of Darrell Haar.
Mike David in the 2-car got to be so careful on that outside groove. Again, Mike David knows how to win championships, and he's always thinking about the big picture, so he takes care of his equipment.
59 is Kevin O'Connell, and Mike David now back where he started in this race, the 10th position.
Yep, Mike has been working back and forth through the course of this race.
Oh, my goodness. Stan Silva Jr. in the 65 got knocked around. That's P.J. Jones in the 24 trying to get by him.
Yep, P.J. working that again. He's got to take care of that car, but he knows he's got to work his way back towards the front, so he's got to be a little bit aggressive.
We are halfway through this race. 64 laps make up the event, 32 to go.
Save your stuff. Be smooth on it. Stay off the triple strip.
P.J. Spotter talking to him. Whoop.
Boy, and he almost got turned around by Silva.
He sure did, and that's not what he wants to do. Silva's got a good race car. P.J.'s just having a little bit of trouble getting around him. And again, this racetrack, what's so unusual about this racetrack, Mike, is what the hardest part of this place is getting the front nose to set on this racetrack in these tight corners. It just slides. When you drive down in the corner right like through here, you turn the wheel and it slides and slides and slides. You can fix it, but if you fix it in one corner, it really hurts another corner. So you have to give a little to get a little.
See there on the left of your screen, that is David Mayhew, a couple laps down, but I'm glad to see him back on the racetrack.
Yep, David's got, you know, proud to be back out there, and I'm sure Jim Offenbach, they've got sponsors here today, so they've got to go out and make laps, and they're here to win. They're here to race for the points also.
That's a battle for third there. Whoa! One spin on the racetrack. That is Mike Gallegos.
It's like possibly the 17 car.
Gallegos driving for Rob Dixon, who's also the crew chief on that car. And he's coming off his career best run. He had such momentum coming here to Infineon. Gallegos, he was fourth. Our last race in Colorado, and
it's like Pattison, I believe the 17 car. Yep, Jason Pattison blew a motor. Man, is he laying the old down.
And Gallegos got right in it, didn't he?
Well, I tell you, Gallegos is real lucky. It could have been a lot worse than that. He was able to turn the car around and get to the inside. If he'd have run through that oil on the outside, he would have been hard into them tires.
So Gallegos looks like he's going to be okay, but Jason Patterson's engine looks like it is cooked.
It is done for the day. It's toast, like you might say.
Austin Cameron has made his way towards the front, and when this caution came out, he's running second behind Jason Bowles. Cameron trying to make a statement here today, and earlier Natalie had a chance to talk with him.
Austin, Camping World West Series, we're so excited to see you come back, driving after a year off. You've overcome health issues, you've taken time off for your family. but you're back and with a great race team. Talk a little bit about being part of the Bill McAnally race team and family.
Well, you know, it is a pleasure to be back racing. I was tearing up the carpet at home, you know, just burning holes in it, and I think I was pacing back and forth all the time, and you know, just kind of twiddling my thumbs and wondering what the heck I'm going to do. And you know, Bill McAnally gave me this opportunity to come back, and I wanted nothing more than that. So you know, I wanted to come back and win a championship, but right now it's going to be a tough battle, especially with great teammates like Moses and Eric. So I'm really looking forward to it, though. I mean, we're almost you know, like, I don't know, we're working on the setup of the car and really grasping some new points that I was away from last year, you know. So we're working on some fine-tuning stuff that I was a little, I guess, behind on before, but I don't know, we're looking forward to it. I think we're going to do well.
You're talking about your teammates, but I want to know about your time management. You're not just a racer, owner of your own family construction company. How in the world do you try to balance those two things?
Well, you know, it works great because I have great partners. My father being a partner, and my brother-in-law being another one, and my cousin being another one. So I wouldn't be able to do it without them. But you know, it is a big responsibility. It's a big machine. We have, you know, over 450 employees, and so construction's is tough, especially in San Diego right now. In that region, you know, the financial market and stuff, and the new home market is pretty tough. So right now, I spend a lot of time there at the office, and juggling that with racing, you know, is pretty tough. Having to take days off and go to the racetrack and drive, but you know, it's I'm planning for the future. I'm set up for my kids so they don't have to work like I did. So I don't know.
Well, you brought up kids. That's a third feather in your hat. I mean, you're not just business, race car driver, you're a dad, and a new dad.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I got a little boy, little Austin Cole Cameron, who's just turned 2 a couple weeks ago, and my newest son, Gavin Alexander Cameron, was just born on May 20th. So he's a month old, and it's just you know, he's the jewel of my life, and all the kids are. And my wife, you know, Rochelle Cameron, does such a good job with them, and being in the home, staying with them a lot of times when I'm out racing, and it's a pleasure. It's awesome. But the kids, they make it, you know, worth living. It's a great experience.
Talk to me here.
All right, that is Austin Cameron, as you see, running second. Jason Bowles right in front of him, Dan.
Jason, Dan Partisan, HDNet booth. You copy?
Copy, Dan.
Hey, bud, looks like you got a really good race car. You know, you came in. How about pit strategy? Are you guys done in the pits?
Oh, you know, I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on. We won't tell nobody but the world. No, I tell you, you got a good race car. Bill Sedgwick's done a fine job for you. Obviously helped you a whole bunch, and Sunrise Ford is your sponsor. You got a pretty good effort there.
No, we got a real good car today. Yeah, we're just going to see it out to the end here. We're going to see what we got. You know, we might change our strategy up a bit before this thing's over, but we'll just see how it plays out. You know, I think the Sunrise Ford Fusion is going to be strong to the end, and you know, we'll see if we can take it to these boys.
Right. How about Bill Sedgwick there on the pit box? Bill, we got you on TV there. You've done a lot. You've been a driver in this series. What's it like working with Jason?
It's awesome to work with a young driver. He's 25 going on 45. It's just awesome to work with him because I'll tell you what, he's hammered down all the time, and he's smart. He's a very smart racer.
Well, listen, we appreciate you guys, and good luck to y'all.
I like that. It's orchestration for Dan Partisan with Jason Bowles and the crew chief, Bill Sedgwick, and Bowles is our leader right now.
Well, you heard what he said. You know, to have the mature driver like that makes a big difference.
You know, HDNet has the best Major League Soccer action every Saturday night. Tonight, the 2-time defending MLS Cup champion Houston Dynamo take to the road to face off against the Colorado Rapids. The action gets underway at 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific. HDNet is your home for the MLS all summer long. You know, Jason Bowles is one of those engaging young guys. It is just fun to be around, fun to talk to, and you have a feeling that he has a chance.
Well, he does, and he is a smart race car driver, and he got even smarter when he brought Bill Sedgwick on that team, because them years and years of experience really mean a lot. I tell you, listen to these guys on the radio. It sounds like they got enough gas, but they're not sure. I think I told them that I think I heard Bill say, put it in 4th gear and just chug it around there as much as you can so we can try and make it to the end. So a little bit of strategy there also. It's going to be interesting to see if they go green the rest of the day.
And tires. Does he dare make it this race on those tires? We'll see. Jason Bowles, though, right now your leader. Austin Cameron, Ken Shrader, Eric Holmes, and Jim Englebright, your top 5.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Still under caution here, and while we are, let's take a chance to catch you up on what happened today. One of the great West officials, Ken Clapp, waved the green. Eric Holmes was our leader early in this race, and then here came P.J. Jones.
Man, he is getting her down there. These two guys bouncing off each other back and forth. They are really putting on a show this first half.
Then off into the grass, Jeff Berkshire, youngster 3rd in points. But he was able to get back underway. Damaged race car, but he's still going. And then it's Jones and Holmes battling again.
The guys going back and forth. They were really good. They're having fun out there, I promise you. But you got to take care of that equipment.
And again, Berkshire.
4-wheel drive action there. He wishes he had a 4-wheel drive today.
He's had a lot of trips into the dirt today. There's Kyle Kelly in the 7 car, giving Scott Ivey some love in the 74, turning him around. Garland Self visited the dirt, knocked down the sponsor sign.
Bennett Winery sign.
And now Jason Bowles has passed Austin Cameron in the 18 to take the lead here. And Cameron and Bowles have had quite a battle.
Yep, these two are at it too. It's going to be interesting to see if we get Eric Holmes back out front with P.J. Jones. These 4, man, we're going to have one heck of a race.
By the way, P.J. Jones will restart 10th. Eric Holmes is 4th on the restart. So those are a couple of guys you're going to have to watch out for here in the second half of this race.
28 laps to go at this point in the race. Man, just what a neat racetrack, Mike. There's about 160 foot of elevation change from one end of this racetrack through the racetrack to the other. Coming down through the S's, the drivers say, man, what a thrill. Come down that hill and you just drop some 75 feet just coming off down through the S's. Just a neat place to go to, but you got to have good car control to be able to really get through these corners.
Well, as you see, they come down, they'll come around that tight turn 11 and come back to take the green again. Jason Bowles, I'm not sure, and maybe we could get Natalie to check on this, that he's got 4 fresh tires on that car. Bowles will restart out in front. It's Austin Cameron, Ken Shrader, and Eric Holmes.
Green. There by 1.
Boy, they're bunched up a bit behind them. That is Englebright in the 1 and
Jamie Dick in the 88.
But that's P.J. Jones in that 24 going right by him as P.J. Jones trying to get some spots as he makes his way towards the front. Mike David, there's his teammate running 8th.
65 of Silva. He's been running real strong here right before that last caution. In fact, P.J. Jones was not able to get around him.
And now you like this, teammates side by side, Jones and Mike David.
See Jones, he wants to go. He is anxious. Not afraid to lay a door or a fender on you also. See the left door of that 24 car caved in.
Down through the S's here as they head to that big sweeper turn.
Oh, Jim Englebright off course there a little bit. Didn't lose too many positions, but he's had a good race car also. He has really worked his way to the front.
That's Tom Hubert, who got banged around a bit by the 88 of Jamie Dick. By the way, just got to know Tony Toast has headed to the garage, so he is officially toast. There you go.
Another look at Jim Englebright as he just uses a little bit too much racetrack, but look at him. He stays in the throttle. Good veteran move there. He's able to stay in the gas, keep that car somewhat straight, and get right back on course. Takes a few minutes to get the dirt and all the pebbles off that tires, but once you get them back cleaned off, you can get back with them.
Up at the top of the hill they are.
See, Eric Holmes looks to the inside of Shrader. Nice clean pass.
Good job by Holmes as they head down the hill now through the S's towards that big sweeper turn 10. Eric Holmes starting on the pole. Oh! Scott Ivey gets turned around and then gets slammed.
That's 2 for him. He's involved a little earlier with Kelly. Kyle Kelly got involved in an incident. The caution does come out.
Wow, Ivey really took a hit, and that knocked some debris all over this racetrack, so they're going to have to put a full course caution out to get that cleaned up, I believe.
Heavy damage to the left rear corner there. Probably not any chassis damage, but looks like Ivey just on the outside and not quite gives the
Well, the youngster
car.
Alex Kennedy in the 23 did a great job getting by him.
Right there, unfortunately. 10-car Jim Warren had nowhere to go.
Warren out of Aurora, Oregon, running for Rookie of the Year. And for Scott Ivey, this was his first ever West Series race. Warren, the team car to Jeff Jefferson. But Warren's going to be out of this race probably as well. We'll take a break here. Jason Bowles still our leader. You know, we heard Eric Holmes talk a little bit about how he's trying to conserve some fuel. I think a lot of these guys who came in early are going to have to conserve a little bit of fuel.
Well, they are, and again, that's what they're doing right now. You've seen Dale Earnhardt Jr. do it a few weeks ago there at Michigan, shutting the engine off. I heard drivers talking about that. Get a run on it, shut the engine off, let it coast. Back and forth, they're in high gear. They're doing all they can right now to conserve energy because it is 2 miles all the way around this racetrack. So any help you can give it makes a big difference.
And if you run out, you're not coasting.
No, no,
to
you're
pit
not.
road.
You're pretty much done. You'll be parked there in the dirt.
As we go to green this time, we're going to track it for you, and that's something we do to let you hear some of the sounds of these race cars as they'll be headed up the hill to turn 1 and 2, and then at turn 4 the shoot over to turn 7 and then back down the S's again. We'll let you hear the sounds as Jason Bowles and Austin Cameron will take it to the green with Eric Holmes, Ken Shrader, Jim Engelbright right behind them. And don't forget about Max Dumoulin, and as you mentioned, Stan Silva Jr. has had a good run.
Some of these cars have made some adjustments, and they have really come alive here in the second half, including Ken Shrader. I mean, look at him sitting currently in 3rd position. A lot of these cars, it might be a really good shootout to the end.
P.J. Jones will restart 8th, who has been so strong here today. Ready for the green. Green's out, let's track it.
Outside.
P.J. Jones, a spotter, having a lot of trouble trying to get around Stan Silva there. He has worked hard.
Clear, clear. Good job, PJ. Keep it up, buddy. Keep it up.
P.J. Jones making some moves.
See Jim Engelbright there right in front of him. He has had an outstanding run here today.
And you saw David Mayhew in the 21. He is several laps down because of a electrical problem early in this race, but he's back and he's got that car running strong now.
Well, Mayhew's showing what he's got. He had a good race car. Morton Gay told me that before, but unfortunately he's laps down. Look at this battle for 3rd place. Holmes on the inside of Shrader. Good clean pass by Spotter Joe liked that one, called him clear.
There's Jack Sellers, who is spun. Not sure he's going to be able to get that refired. If he doesn't, we'll see another caution flag.
Oh, trouble here. Looks like on the front straightaway, Mike. Max Dumouriez turned around, hard impact.
Pursley, maybe there's some oil down there.
There could be. These cars are sliding around. Boy, look at this. You got to get slowed down before you get through there.
Robert Davis turns around. Dumouriez's got heavy damage on the 76 up against the wall. It looks like Davis, who's backed up there a moment ago, might be okay.
This is too bad. Obviously, these cars were bunched up there on that restart and just nowhere to go. Tough break this late in the race with 22 laps to go.
And look at all the liquid coming out of Pursley's car on this racetrack. That's going to take a moment to clean up, as Sellers still not able to move.
Sellers in another corner, not in the same location that this other wreck we looked at on the front straightaway. So we actually had two situations going on at once. Here we see Max Dumouriez. Wow, hard impact.
My goodness, he went hard in the wall. And there's Pursley. Now look at all the fluid coming out.
Not sure if Dumouriez had gotten loose by himself or possibly there's a little later shot of that. Right down the front stretch, nowhere to go. Man.
Dumouriez really hit that wall hard.
He did. Not sure again if he maybe got fluids or what, because a lot of these cars were sliding around. There's an early shot of it. But you actually see fluid on the racetrack here, you know, possibly before Dumouriez, back in this area here, before Dumouriez got into the picture. So not sure if he actually blew a motor and got into it or what. Hard impact.
Well, there's Max Dumouriez. The good news, he's going to take the mandatory trip to the care center as he will head over to that ambulance. But looks like he's okay. He took a really hard hit. Dumouriez, the youngster out of Ghent, Belgium. He's just 19 years old.
Good road racer, has shown that he's got what it takes to win in this series, and just a tough day for him. But another tribute to the NASCAR for building these cars the way they do, and the Hans devices and all the safety equipment like we have. He was able to climb out of that race car.
He, of course, driving for Mike Olson this year, former champion driver in his own right in this series, and we'll see him when HDNet heads east. He'll be one of the cars to beat in that series, particularly a course like Lime Rock race that we'll be doing later in the summer. But while they clean this up and try to get some of that fluid, I think we're going to undergo a red flag condition here. We're going to stop this race. We're under a red flag after this accident, and really a hard hit by Max Dumouriez. Something surely the fans here didn't want to see. We didn't either, but red flag condition right now while they dry up this racetrack and try to get it so we're able to go racing once again. And let's go down to Natalie Taylor.
Hey guys, I'm here with Rodney Haywood. We were talking to Jim before the race, and he was a little unsure of his new equipment. Started 8th, and look, you guys are in the top 5.
Yeah, it's running pretty good. Jimmy's conserving the tires, and hopefully we can finish on fuel. We're going to gamble.
I was going to ask, do you think you have what it takes if we continue to go green after this red flag? Will you have to come in again, or are you going to be okay then?
Yeah, we're going to gamble it. We're going to hang in there and see what happens.
Jim obviously feeling strong about this car. What's he saying on the radio?
Not a whole lot. He was just a little upset with the 21 car. He was a few laps down. He raced him, and he wasn't too happy about that, but he's pretty mellow now.
You guys were one of the teams that made the decision not to take tires. Was that part of the reason because of Jim's experience and success on this track?
We made that decision before we even come here. And the only way we plan on pitting for tires if we've got a flat or something like that. We just figured, hey, what the heck, we'll just try it and see what happens.
It seems like a lot of these teams made that decision. David Gillen did not pit for tires last year, ended up winning the race. That's kind of the feeling down here in the pits. But the question is, will the fuel hold off? Guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Natalie. And it's going to be the story right now. No fuel being consumed at all. We're under a red flag.
Exactly. They're liking this. Of course, no air condition.
Red flag condition.
Let's see what old Ken Shrader has to say about it.
Running 4th right now.
Ken, Dan Partisan, HDNet booth. You copy?
Yes, sir. I got you, Dan.
How about it? You having fun out there? I know you got to be enjoying yourself.
Oh yeah, we're having a good time. You know, we got up a little farther than we started on pit strategy, so let's see if we can get a couple more here.
Looks like the car seems to be getting a little bit better there for you. I mean, I know we've been watching your times pick up a little bit. You got any more pit stops? You got to come down pit row anymore? Or are you done for today?
We should already be done, Dan. We just put the fuel in, didn't even change tires. We picked up a little bit. You know, it's getting close to the time to go. At the start, we weren't real worried about going.
Yeah, well, we know you're a savvy old veteran, and you've won a few of these races. So, listen, good luck to you, and hopefully we see you in victory lane.
Well, we'll just bring this little car home with something good and solid. I don't know if we're not near quick enough to get up there, I think, but you never know what happens in these deals.
Oh, man, I know you'd probably rather like the atmosphere up here. I've been up here in the booth with you in the air conditioning. Probably a little warmer in that race car right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, when they said red flag, I said, oh, boy, we don't need that.
All right, Ken, have a good day, man.
All right, Ken Shrader, who, like a lot of folks down there, is kind of cooking in that race car. One of the guys who runs full-time in this series is Eric Harten out of Anaheim, California, 25-year-old driver who finished 12th in this race a year ago. Right now, Eric Harten's running 13th. He started 18th. Earlier, Natalie had a chance to talk with him.
Eric, well, you're one of those guys with off-road racing experience, and here you are coming in Finian. What are we going to expect to see today?
Well, I'm really excited because of the off-road experience. You know, I'm really comfortable on the road courses, and I wish we went to more of them, but our results haven't shown yet, but hopefully we can make that happen this weekend.
You know, with your background being an off-road racer, how important is confidence? Like you said, you feel really comfortable in the car. How important is that when you take to the track?
It's really important. You know, you got to have really good car control here, and you got to be able to, you know, battle to be able to pass people here and overdrive the car the right way. And, you know, being from the desert races and everything from being completely out of control, that really helps, and it doesn't seem so foreign being out here, so.
You know, the one thing that's exciting about the Camping World Series is that everyone has different backgrounds. Everyone has positives and negatives in their lives, or maybe obstacles to overcome. You yourself have that. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, when I was 12 years old, I had bone cancer in my right leg, and they ended up amputating it halfway through my knee. So having a prosthetic leg definitely is a little bit of a challenge, but I don't think it really slows us down much, you know. I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's something that I've learned to deal with for the last, 14 years now, so it's not really anything. It's the only way I've ever driven. It's the only thing I know. So I know we're hunting for our first win on a road course, so our first win in the series, and we're hoping it'll be on a road course because it'll just really make it seem like it isn't a big deal, so we're excited.
You know, it's interesting to talk with you because I've spent time with you off camera, and it's no big deal. When people talk about how it must get challenging for you when you're in the car, what kind of challenges that you face that other drivers necessarily don't?
Well, you know, I don't really have quite as much feel when I'm pushing down on the gas pedal, obviously, just because I don't have an ankle or a foot. But, you know, the car, I pretty much drive the car with my seat. You know, I feel the way the car's handling and just drive it like that. And
well, that's the words of Eric Harten, who give him credit. What courage he has, you know, and he hasn't let that disability. Well, it's not a disability. It hasn't slowed him down one bit at all.
What you got to admire him for his drive and determination to do what he does, and like he says, it really doesn't affect him. Eric's a great race car driver, and I've seen him lead races, and he's just as good as anybody out there. So my hat's off to Eric Harten and his whole family for being where he's at today, and that's got to be a statement to people out there that watch that sometimes say, oh, I got a muscle ache here or there or a problem. Look what he's done.
He has a top 5 to his credit this year, finished 4th in the race in Kyle, Texas. And again, we are under a red flag condition after an accident here on the front straightaway involving that 76 car of Max Dumoret. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Sonoma, California, wine country here. The Infineon Raceway. And cleanup continues as there was quite a spill right there, right before the start-finish line. A lot of fluid dumped on this racetrack. Here are our point standings coming into the race. Mike David with a 35-point lead over Eric Holmes, 98 over Jeff Barkshire, and 108 over Austin Cameron. Mike David has had a very consistent season this year. His only time out of the top 10 was at Iowa in that East-West combination race where he was 14th. He's coming off a second-place win in Colorado. He won at Phoenix and currently is running in the 9th position here after starting 10th.
See, they're passing water out here to these drivers just to kind of keep them cooled down, which is a good thing. A lot of drivers will really appreciate that.
I don't know what the temperature is today, but yesterday, and it was just as hot, I think, today as yesterday. It was over 130 on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, it gets hot. It's 130, 140 inside these race cars. Once you start racing, the exhaust pipes are literally right underneath the floorboards of these race cars, and man, do they generate a lot of heat. So the worst thing that could possibly happen during a race is what you're seeing right here. Stop. When you stop a race, you don't have no wind flow through the car, and it really, really takes its toll on the driver. So any driver that was on the edge of being dehydrated at this point, he's not feeling real good about himself right now.
Our next telecast will be the California Highway Patrol 200. Friday on the 4th of July at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Pacific. As we head to Irwindale, California, the Toyota Speedway at Irwindale.
We're friends with Jerry Stark.
Should be a great race there from Irwindale on to Roseburg. Those are, I think, the money races in this series when you get to Irwindale and you go on to Roseburg.
Well, it is. It's good racetracks. Makes for really good racing. And again, by then, teams know what they got with their equipment and their drivers, so that's the time to pull all the cards out.
Well, good to see the guys got watered down.
These drivers. Another problem with sitting like this, Mike, is tire pressures in these tires. They go way back down because obviously when you're running, you generate heat in these tires, and they build some 15 to 20 pounds in some cases during the course of the race. Now what happens is these tires are actually cooling down. They're losing tire pressure. The tire, every time it cools down, it heats up, it actually gets harder and harder, and you lose grip on the tire. So as a driver, you don't want to cool the tire down and let it heat up, cool it down and heat it up. You want to keep it and get the full run out of the one set of tires. So it does make the tire a little bit harder, so it'll make these cars handle not quite as good.
Max Dumouriez, by the way, we've gotten word, has been released from the care center. That is certainly good news. We told you the sponsor of this race, the Bennett Lane Winery. They've got 2 cars in the race. They have sponsored the race. They're a big part of life here in the Napa Valley. Randy and Lisa Lynch. With more on that, let's go down to Natalie Taylor.
You guys always hear the same, behind every good man, there's a good woman. Well, we hear about Randy Lynch always from Mike David's team. Lisa's got her own team, the Friendly Rivalry. You're the owner, technically, of the PJ Jones team. So what are you up here doing today?
I'm up here, and I hope we have a finish here, and we're very excited to be here.
And Lisa, you're always involved. I mean, we see you in the pits all the time, but today you've had a few more responsibilities since you're the owner for PJ. Talk a little bit about those.
Yes, it has been a little bit different. Sponsoring the race this year has been quite an undertaking. So there's my responsibilities, which is normally simple things such as some of the cooking. Now it's other things, more technical things, driving suits and behind the scenes, a lot of behind the scenes for this event.
You know, you're, like we said, you're always involved with Mike David's team, but now they've got 2 cars and this rivalry, so to speak, between you and Randy. And PJ made note that he's driving for the girls' team. So what's the trash talking between you and Randy, or what's the whole before you came to the track today?
Well, there is a bet. He doesn't really know about the bet, but we're just having a lot of fun with this. It's great PR for the winery. I enjoy being here. I've really had a lot of fun with Randy and Mike and the whole crew on the Bennett Lane team. So we're just having a great time. Just a lot of fun.
Lisa, you know I've got to ask about that bet now. What is the bet between Mike David's car and PJ's?
Oh, I don't know if I should. Well, no, it's between me and Randy. So that's our bet. The joke is a Bentley if I win. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can always hope.
Yeah. Well, she can always hope. Like I said, team owner today. So who knows? Will it be one of the 2 Bennett Lane Wineries? Guys, back up to you.
Well, they got a pretty good chance of it, I'd say. Two good cars in the race, and P.J. Jones has really flexed his muscle, and Mike David, last 10 laps or so, has really shown some of his stuff.
Well, P.J. Jones, when we restart, we'll restart 6th, and the good news is the cars have fired up. Well, that's a dirty windshield, isn't it?
Oh, man, look at it. He's run through some oil, or somebody's dropped some serious oil in front of him, and as a driver, the glare on that windshield is just amazing. I mean, you just don't realize how hard it is to see out of a race car like that with that much glare and oil on the windshield, but there's really nothing they can do at this point. You see they have a tear off there, that top right corner. They can actually come in and pull that off there and give him a nice clean window, but he'd have to come down pit row. I'm not sure he's too concerned with it right now.
I think he'll live with that. Didn't want to lose the track positions it would take to come down on pit road. P.J. Jones, who early in this race looked like he had definitely the car to beat. And again, we'll restart 6th. It'll be Austin Cameron, Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, Ken Shrader, Jim Englebright, and then PJ. We go back green, and took a while to get that cleanup of the
a lot of fluids down there.
Actually came out of Greg Persley's car, because he was the one that slammed into Max Dumouriez after he slammed off the wall.
These drivers, are liking these cautions, because we talked about our fuel window being close to running out of fuel. So obviously the more we can ride around under caution, Mike, the better chance you got of making it at the end of the race.
Dan, when you were a race driver and you had a red flag condition, doesn't it cause you to lose a little bit of focus, some focus that you have to kind of all of a sudden get back in that race mode once you refire the engines?
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the race, rhythm. You lose that rhythm. I mean, that smoothness, that consistent rhythm. You're a machine when you get in them race cars. You're in full focus and concentration, and you actually do lose some of that rhythm. And obviously, there's nothing you can do about it, so everybody's in the same boat. So the driver that can pick his rhythm back up the quickest and be the smoothest, he'll feel a lot better as these last few laps wind down.
Well, I can tell you we're not going green. I think it was the top to ice chest or something just fell off the fire truck. There it is. It's lying right out in the middle of the racetrack.
Oh boy, that's not good.
I do. I think it flew right off the safety truck.
Yep, there it is. There. That's
a top to a chest of probably that's the one that was holding all that cold water that they passed out to the drivers.
It's a giant chest there, Mike.
Those guys have been busy. Well, I understand we're still going to try to go green, so now the race is on to get that off the racetrack.
Well, that's what's nice about a big track like this. 2 miles all the way around. You've got time to get it, get cleaned up, and go back under green.
And I noticed that the pace truck just went from 35 to 25 in a hurry.
He slowed her down. Be a good one. Looks like they may have called it off and going to make one more lap of caution.
Well, the light is still on that pace truck. See if maybe they'll turn it off.
NASCAR decided to wait one more lap, which is probably a smart move. Give them a little bit more breathing room to get off that racetrack.
43 laps in, 64 will make up the Bennett Lane Winery 200.
Again, these guys now, the key right now is to get some heat back in them tires and keep them scuffed. Turn right, turn left, and get all the dirt and speedy dry off them tires. So when you come back around for the green, you got a little bit of heat built up back at them, and there's no speedy dry on them.
And Dan, for those guys who are really in tough shape concerning fuel, this is going to help them a little bit.
Well, exactly. I mean, the more we can ride around here under caution, you get, at least twice the mileage running around here under caution than we do under race conditions. So, this is really helping them out, giving them some breathing room, and that's important to them right now.
So another lap of caution, another couple of minutes, and then hopefully we will indeed be going back green. As you can see, it's pretty well dried up right there on the front straightaway where Persley dumped a ton of fluid down, and up the hill they come under caution speed.
See that there down into turn 1, you make that climb up into turn 2, and it's just really cool. Elevation change like that, you're wide open on the gas. It's just a cool feeling.
And one of the interesting things about this series coming here, it first came here in 1978 and ran until 1998, and then did not come back here until a couple of years ago, 2006. Since this series has returned to this racetrack, a West Series regular has not won the race. Brian Vickers won in 2006. David Gilliland won the race last year. So you got to wonder, this year? Will a guy like Eric Holmes, who runs this series every week, win the race? Or will it be a guy like Ken Shrader or P.J. Jones or Tom Hubert, a guy who's just coming in to have some fun on a road course? Be interesting to see.
That's it. That's the big unknown of road course racing, because it's such a unique type of race in itself, and not every driver is good at road course racing. So a lot of times you'll get a ringer there like Tom Hubert that'll come in and really flex his muscle, and they're just hard to beat because they're so used to shifting and turning and getting down on the brake pedal like we talked about. I mean, you'll shift some 1,000 times through the course of this race. I mean, that's a lot of times to shift and not miss a gear or two, and one miss of the shift, missing a gear, or downshift in 2 gears sometimes can be detrimental. You blow a motor or just rip the gearbox right out of it.
After this race, there will be 7 races remaining in this series. Of course, Irwindale and Roseburg on July 4th, July 11th, you'll see on HDNet. And then it's on to Monroe, Washington, into Utah, back to Irwindale, to Altamont, which is actually very near here. And then the final race still to be announced where exactly it will be, the final race of this West Series season. You see the light out on that pace truck? That means we're going green, hopefully this next time around.
Yep, these guys are ready to go racing, and again, the worst thing you can do is get a red flag like that. Man, you just lose that rhythm, and the car cools down and everything.
Well, Kid Shrader is going to restart in the 2nd position. Although the official timing and scoring, it has him 3rd, but Eric Holmes back in that 3rd position. So this will be interesting. You heard Shrader tell us he doesn't think he has quite the car to stay up there with Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, but we'll see. He's a savvy driver.
Ready. Green. By 1. Clear by 2.
The word from Jason Bowles' spotter as he gets a good restart. The front 14 cars are in single file as they head up the hill.
Feel these race cars out. So get a little heat back in them tires and go racing.
There's Austin Cameron off the course a little bit.
Got turned around. Austin actually came down pit row and made some adjustments to that race car. So
now the battle for 2nd place. Eric Holmes, he didn't restart 2nd, but he has it now. Past Ken Shrader.
Yep, Shrader said he didn't know if he had the race car to win this race, and that's a sign of a veteran knowing that he may not have the race car. He'll admit it. Moved out of the way there a little bit and give Eric Holmes the room that he needed.
Now Jim Engelbright. Oh, and Darrell Haar is in trouble.
Like the 10 car.
Wes Banks.
Jim Warren.
Travis McCullen, the 35. Jim Warren, who's been through it already once today. And there,
still wrecking.
Darrell Haar with some serious damage on the right front. And guess what? The caution is out yet again here.
Man, not what these guys want to keep seeing. They're ready to go racing now and finish this race out within less than 20 laps.
We can see exactly what happened here. There's Austin Cameron.
Moses Smith right there.
Moses Smith, rather, excuse me, the 16, not the 18.
Got a left rear tire down in Moses Smith car, so not sure if that happened before or after. Now Wes Banks getting slowed down and got turned sideways.
Paul Morris did a great job in the 09 of getting through all that.
There you see Moses Smith slow down on the bottom of the racetrack. Haar, that's what knocked that tire off Moses Smith's car, obviously made it go down. Not sure Haar just didn't have anywhere to go and could not get the 71 car stopped, and unfortunately 18 car, or Moses Smith car, 16 car, was victim of the circumstance, Mike.
Darrell Haar pulls his car to the garage. Moses Smith sits with the window net down, which is certainly good news. But not the day he would have wanted it all, and there's more debris and more cleanup yet to do on this racetrack. And there's was Haar heading in, and they'll try to get that pulled off in a hurry. Dana, seeing these spins, and it seems this track is getting hot and slick, what you'd expect late in the day on a hot day here in Sonoma, California. One hot day here in Sonoma, California, the Bennett Lane Winery 200. Mike Hogwood, Dan Partis, Natalie Taylor with you. And Dan, we were talking about it right after they fired up, and after a long red flag, we had another incident. This track must be getting greasy and slick.
Yeah, it is. I knew we talked about that, and as the day goes on, the hotter this place gets, the slicker it gets, and you lose not only front grip but rear grip to the race car, and it just gets slicker and slicker. And again, when you cool these tires down, sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and then they heat back up and cool down, they actually get harder. The compound actually gets harder and harder, so the tire is less effective. So, you know, this may be a result of what you're actually seeing to some of these cars towards the back that are a little bit more ill handling than the cars would be at the front.
Early in this race, it seemed like everybody was patient. There was, you know, smart driving.
Exactly. The first half of this race was just so good. Everybody did the right thing. The tires were good underneath the race car. But like you say, Mike, as this track heated up and these tires heat up, these cars slide around a lot more.
We are working now lap 47 of 64 here. Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, Ken Shrader, Jim Engelbright, and now P.J. Jones has made his way into the top 5. I think as you look at the cars on the racetrack, those are the 5 fastest cars here, and now the top 5 cars in running order.
I would have to say that, and they have worked their way back up. And again, we're done with pit cycles, pit rotations, so if anybody's got anything left, now's the time to really charge towards the front and really flex their muscle.
Winding their way down through the S's, as you see there. Light is out on the pace truck, so hopefully we're going green again this time.
Seen Eric Holmes make the pass on Ken Shrader, but obviously did not complete that lap, Mike. So NASCAR reverts to the last lap that got scored at the start-finish line, so they put Ken Shrader back in front of Eric Holmes again. So Eric will have to make his way past Shrader.
Jason Bowles thought he was headed to an open wheel career. Tested some champ cars a couple of years ago, but got a taste of stock cars when he ran late models at the Irwindale Speedway and said, this is what I want to do. And last year he came through with a couple of wins, both of them on road courses. And with Bill Sedgwick on board now, I think that team is going to be really tough to beat. We'll see if Eric Holmes can get up there and challenge him.
They believe in each other, and that's the most important thing. They both believe in each other, and as a driver, no better feeling to have a crew chief that has confidence.
And I still think you can't count out P.J. Jones, who will restart 5th. And we're going to get another green flag right here in a moment.
Be ready, be ready. Green, 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 come on. Clear by 2.
Another good restart.
He's able to really get off the corner here down in turn 1 and get a good climb up that hill. So important.
See him getting jammed up back in the pack a bit. That's the 23 of Alex Kennedy, the 77 of Andrew Myers.
It's only part, Mike, about going caution like this. You actually bunch all these cars back up. If they can race here for about 2 or 3 laps, they'll spread out and get single file, and everybody has a lot more tendency to behave a little bit more.
How about that 16-year-old Alex Kennedy, currently running in the 16th position, or 14th rather.
Doing a good job. There's Shrader. Look at Shrader on the inside of Engelbright. These guys are wrestling now.
That's the battle for 3rd place. And Engelbright wants it. And so does P.J. Jones, who's starting to make a move.
Well, P.J. knows it's time to go now. With 16 laps to go, he has to get it back up towards the front because Eric Holmes gets away too much, Mike. He may not catch him.
Jason Bowles has checked out up front. Look at that. Difference between 1st and 2nd.
Got to get up there. Here's the race right here for 3rd position. These guys are going at it. But you got it. They all know they got to take care of that equipment. Don't knock them fenders in. Keep the tires under it.
Another car has been turned around on the racetrack. That's the 83 of Troy Ermish.
Troy gets back underway, down in turn 11 there. Tough part of the racetrack, especially for a rookie.
We've seen several cars spin down there today.
See, P.J. Jones looked like got off course there and lost a few positions. Again, he is really up on that steering wheel. He wants his way back up there bad.
clear.
PJ Spotter, clear. He is all over them rumble strips, man.
Englebright wants to take that position from Shrader and just might do it.
Look at PJ Jones.
Still there, outside clear.
Was he trying to make it 3 wide on this racetrack?
Keep the wheels
Are you
on that
kidding
thing.
me?
We got to finish it off here.
You hear that Spotter talking to him? Keep them wheels on that baby. So important.
Yeah, you don't go 3 wide at Infineon.
Got to be careful, but PJ shows that he knows how to get around this racetrack. He's using the rumble strips to his advantage. That car was up on 2 wheels. He was down on the gas pedal.
Meanwhile, Jason Bowles up front's cruising.
Stan Silva inside of Shrader. Look at that. Oh, Silva into PJ Jones. Not what he wanted to see. Oh, PJ.
And Mike David gets hit by his teammate, PJ Jones.
Wow, wow. Not what PJ Jones wanted.
Still no caution.
Man, oh man.
Into that. They got spun down. You okay? Can you keep rolling?
Wow.
Obviously, the spotter doesn't see the right front on that car. There's no way he's going to keep rolling. Not for long.
Okay, park it. Idiot. I was in a deep.
He's not happy.
Spotter, I'm the one to come see me. Have Englebright come see me after the race. Talk to him about that purchase. 65 car. 65 car did it? I'm sorry, don't talk to this one car then. We're done. Proceed there. He wasn't even.
Obviously, a little frustration there. Thought it was Jim Englebright in that one car, but it was Silva Jr. Man, tough break for PJ Jones.
But no caution came out. Meanwhile, up front, Jason Bowles just took off. Now let's watch it again.
Here's another look at that. You see him right here coming into your picture. Just a hard shot, overdrove the corner. Stan Silva had nowhere to go, and again, PJ Jones was wanting to get going, got the nose taken off the front of that car by his teammate.
And you see our points leader, Mike David, who spun, but it looks like David's okay.
Wow.
Although Mike David back in 24th position.
Here's another shot at that, Mike. Look at Silva. He has got a huge run going. Just drove into the right rear corner of PJ Jones.
And the caution is out. I think there is some debris down. They've got to clean up some of that debris, I believe.
They do. And I'm sure Silva did not do that on purpose. He just could not get that car stopped. Look at these cars still coming through here. Wow, tough break for PJ Jones. Bennett Winery, Jeff Spraker, that whole team had a great effort here today.
Well, that was certainly a car that could have won this race. So one more challenger to Jason Bowles has fallen by the wayside. PJ Jones done for the day. A disappointing finish for him here in the Bennett Lane Winery 200, but still Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, Jim Englebright, Ken Shrader, and now the rookie Jamie Dick running in the 5th position. We'll be back with, well, we've had a rash of cautions here in the second half of this race, and again it will bunch up the field. Dan Pardis, Jason Bowles had gone out to over a 2-second lead over Eric Holmes, but now it's going to bunch that back up again. And
well, it's going to get interesting because Eric Holmes has got a fast race car, and I think he's just as fast as Jason Bowles at this point in the race, Mike. So this has really bunched it up and changed the whole game plan of this race. With 12 laps to go here at this point, it could get rather interesting.
Well, I think Bowles and Holmes are the class right now, although Jamie Dick, Ryan Foster have made their way up. Stan Silva running well. So is Kevin O'Connell, and Eric Harten, and Jeff Jefferson are all in the top 10. We invite you to join Kenny Rice, Boss Rutan, and a panel of experts from the world of mixed martial arts as they break down all the biggest bouts, top issues, and latest developments in MMA. Inside MMA comes to you every Friday night at 9:30 p.m. on HDNet, your home for MMA. Cleanup continues. PJ Jones, who led in the early part of this race. Damaged race car has been taken to the garage now. Eric Holmes and Jason Bowles are 2 regulars in this series. Coming into this event, Holmes 35 points off the points lead, so he has a chance to really gain some ground on Mike David, who restarts in the 22nd position. This could be a big points gainer today for Eric Holmes.
It does, and also Jason Bowles and Eric Holmes have to make sure that they got to remember the big picture too, Mike, because they're both here to win championships, and both these drivers are in the top 10. Jason Bowles running 6th in points right now. He also could potentially win the points in this series, so he has to use his head, not get too aggressive, just to win this race. Just keep plugging. Every position will gain points, and that's so important, and that's what these spotters are telling these guys.
Well, the light is out on the pace truck. Eric Holmes' crew there, his crew
patiently awaiting.
Holmes, and you got to give some credit to his crew chief, Ty Joyner. Those two have been good friends for a while, and Ty has done a great job getting that car ready for this race.
They have very well prepared automobiles. Anything out of the Bill McAnally racing. Obviously, Bill's been in the sport so long. It's fine equipment, and Bill being a driver himself in the past really makes a difference.
Well, I don't know about you, Dan, but here's to a couple of good green flag laps, huh?
Well, I hope so. 12 laps to go here, so 11 when they come across the start-finish line, so hopefully this makes for some good racing. I'm sure that's what the fans want to see at home, and these people in the stands. That's what we come for.
Pace truck has pulled off. Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes will lead them to the line.
Ready. Green flag, okay, come on. Clear by 1.
Jim Engelbright running 3rd, and again they bunch up back in the back. There's the 42 of Jefferson, middle of your screen. He's running 10th. Tom Hubert in the 25, but it's up front, the top 3. Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, Jim Engelbright, and Ken Shrader.
Good battle for the lead. You see Eric Holmes, he has really showed some muscle here these past few laps. Natalie, what you got down there?
Hey guys, I'm with PJ here. PJ's so excited to get in the car.
Whoa, there's trouble out there, Natalie.
Oh wait, just a second. We had trouble on the track.
They did, and it was the guy who was involved with PJ Jones, I think. That is Stan Silva Jr.
Local caution.
I don't see a full course caution.
Now underway.
We do see the full caution now. Eric Harten ran off the track. Yeah, a lot of damage on the rear of that Stan Silva machine, number 65.
It's like Silva and Johnny Bordeman get together. Stan Silva gets the worst of that.
Well, let's go back to Natalie. PJ, I think, has some things to say about Stan Silva.
I was going to say, Stan caused yours, just caused another one out there. But what happened in your incident?
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I passed 65 3 or 4 times, and got by Shrader, and everything was great. I just got down the corner. All the next thing I'm spinning, so I really don't know. I mean, we've all made mistakes, and but I think you need to to drive within your means, and you just maybe got in the corner a little bit too hard and just missed his braking point. But the car was great. It's a 24 car, Bennett Lane Winery's Maxim. It was awesome. It just we were just trying to get there. We made it a little harder on ourselves, taking on tires, having to come back through and put ourselves in jeopardy to have things like that happen. So, but it was good. It was fun while it lasted, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again next year.
I was gonna say, you guys knew PJ was excited to get in the car, but unfortunately, tough break for the number 2 team's second car. Guys, back up to you.
All right, thank you, Natalie, and I think we should make a point that Stan Silva turned around after Johnny Borneman hit him.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the
kind of got the tables
right
turned
rear.
there. Got a little bit of help there, but obviously, you can talk about drivers. What happens on the racetrack? Only 2 people really know. Some 2 guys in the race cars. Crew chiefs don't know. Spotters don't know. Them guys are the only 2 that know what really happens.
We're seeing a number of cars start to miss the braking points a little bit. PJ talking about brakes getting a little soft at this point in a race, or is it?
They could be a little bit, Mike, but you want to know really what it is? It's the adrenaline that a race car driver gets with 10 laps to go, and you can see the front of the field. It happens every time. Drivers get excited. They got to calm themselves down. That's where veterans drivers come into play. That's where teams with good people on the roof spotting for you, on the box, the crew chief spot for these people. Tell these drivers, calm down. we got 5 laps to go. It's not the last lap yet. And that's what makes the good ones between the bad ones. It just takes time, years and years of experience. So what you're seeing is just these drivers getting a little aggressive towards the end of this race.
Those guys been lifting weights.
Yeah, they are now.
Moving the tire barriers back to where they need to be.
Them rubber tires, I tell you what a saving grace them tires are, Mike. It used to be you hit that concrete wall.
And you know, that's a hot job on a day like today that is so hot. And as a matter of fact, all our camera guys around this racetrack who have been out here really all day with cup practice this morning, and it's incredible heat. Certainly appreciate the work that they've done out here in the heat, sweating. And
all these guys, look at these crew guys, they got these fire suits on. These are usually single or double layer suits that the drivers wear. The NASCAR officials have the same suits. These guys will lose probably 5 pounds during the course of a day out here working on these racetracks and you know, running, cleaning up these caution flags. And again, these cameramen up top of these tripods and these mats. We saw that big tripod yesterday up some 100 feet up in the air, shooting down, baking in some 110-degree temperature. People don't realize what it takes to put on one of these NASCAR races.
I'll just tell them the air conditioning's working here fine. The red flag is out again. That's not good news for the drivers in these very hot race cars. There's the red flag being displayed for the 2nd time here in this Bennett Lane Winery 200.
Another guy in a hot position, the flagman there. I'll tell you, that's you bake out in that sun all day and there's really no shade to be had. See, it kind of burnt all the hair off his head.
I know the feeling.
Yes, it did.
Well, there's still some big cleanup going on and to take place, and they really, you know, you want to hopefully get 10 good laps in here. We are on lap 54. 64 will make up this race. And the top 2, Jason Bowles and Eric Holmes, what's got to go through their minds as you think about this? We'll talk about that when we come back. Under a red flag for the 2nd time today here at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma. Well, I promised we'd be fired up and rolling when we came back, and we are. The red flag is no longer displayed. We're fired up and running around this racetrack as I think they've got that tire wall repaired now, and hopefully, again, Dan, I say hopefully we'll get some good green flag racing in here.
Yep, these drivers are talking, listening to them on the radio. They're not liking this red flag condition stuff, and again, there's nothing we can do about it. But as a driver, again, you start to get hot. Some of them are complaining about the heat in the race car. It's getting hot in here. You know, I'm starting to sweat. I feel a little funny, and that's exactly what happens. So gladly we're back underway here. Hopefully we can go green the remainder of this race.
Well, it is hot, and these guys have almost been in these cars for 3 hours, and they're not used to that in these kind of races. Let's go down to Natalie.
Okay, now just as long as I want to complain about the temperature, you know these guys, like Mike was just saying, are cooking. So we figured we'd test the track temperature. So here is the digital temperature gauge, 138.5. Now, aren't you guys envious that you're not down here? Instead, you're up in the booth. What's up with that?
Yeah, well, you almost need to have that fire suit on when it's 138.5. That set you on fire.
And that's just the heat of the asphalt itself. You know, once you get inside them race cars, you can add another 20 or so to it.
Is that hot enough to cook an egg?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it would be. Boy, that is warm, though, and you can understand the 2nd red flag on the first one. They had to take water out to all the guys in the cars. But hopefully they'll be going green soon. And one thing about going green, you get a little more air into the car. Those that have it, the ducts that blow air up to them.
Well, talking to Eric Holmes there before the race, he was taking a fan motor down to the NASCAR trailer this morning to see if they would let him install the fan without having to go to the back of the field. Not sure what the answer was, but I know he was walking down pit road with the fan in his hand. And I said, you got a problem with your air conditioner? He said, yeah, I don't have any air conditioner. I'm going to see if they'll let me put this fan in there. So not sure what the result of that is, but this is exactly why when you sit there, you need some air circulation in these cars.
Well, the good news is there is no light on top of the flashing on top up there, so that should mean we'll go green.
Yep, and we're inside at 10 laps to go here, which means with NASCAR, it's a single file restart. All lead lap cars are on the lead lap, so if you're a lap or two down, normally they would let you fall in line, but at this point, if you're not on the lead lap, you've got to get back there and get in the position you belong in so they can let these lead lap cars go racing.
Actually, in this, in this race, we've been doing single file restarts all day long.
Yes, we have, but sometimes if you got, like you say, Mike, if you got a car that's 2 or 3 laps down, he would fall in behind, say, the 3rd place car, not actually be in 4th place, but he would fall in line. With 10 laps to go, you don't do that. You go to the back, let these guys that are on the lead lap race hard up front.
Jason Bowles, Eric Holmes, Jim Englebright, Ken Shrader, and the rookie Jamie Dick will make up the top 5 as we restart this race. Ryan Foster, Kevin O'Connell, Jeff Jefferson, Brian Wong. That's a team car to Jason Pattison and Andrew Myers. Make up the top 10. P.J. Jones, who led a good portion of this race, has gone to the garage after being involved in an incident with Stan Silva Jr. Coming around that tight turn 11, and good news is the green flag not far away.
Ready. Ready. Green flag, green, come on.
The word from Jason Bowles' spotter.
They're by half.
Pretty good restart by those top 3, Dan, and you see back in the pack a little bit. Jeff Jefferson in the 42, and there the 59 of Kevin O'Connell. 2 top 10 cars going side by side.
Well, this is where it happens. These guys get a little excited within 10 to go. Again, they're really fighting for position. And this is when people start making mistakes. So they've got to use their head. Spotter's got to calm these drivers down and say, let's take it easy. Let's finish this race.
Mike David, your points leader, goes off course.
Heavy damage looks like to the fender of the left rear of that race car. He may be okay, but he does have body damage. Oh.
Andrew Myers got tagged by Tom Hubert, and Myers gets turned around, doesn't hit anything.
Nope, gets a little damage to the right front of that car. But again, we talked about it. These guys are getting anxious. Hopefully he can get back underway, and we won't see another caution flag at this point.
Meanwhile, Eric Holmes is getting closer to Jason Bowles.
He's working him hard. He is all over his bumper. Jason puts it right down at the bottom. He's able to get good bite off the corner. So important here off turn 11 to be getting back down on that gas pedal hard and not spin them tires.
Well, you know where Eric Holmes wants to take him. He wants to take him down there in turn 11.
Yes, he does. And like you said, we talked about it, Mike. Still 7 laps to go here. He needs to wait with 1 or 2 laps to go and make that final move.
He's trying all he can to stay with you.
Jason Bowles, the spotter, talking to him. Tell him it's clear by 1.
Bill Sedgwick telling him he's doing all he can. Eric Holmes is just stay with him. Holmes can't worry, or Bowles can't worry about Holmes. He's got to be smart and hit his marks here.
He does. And these guys got to be careful not to get together because they are racing really hard like they did earlier in this race. Take each other out. That would be detrimental to both of them, not only for the race, but in points.
Coming down through the S's now, the big sweeper through turn 10. And we'll see if Holmes can catch up with him again down towards turn 11.
Holmes drives hard down in 11, but
not this time.
I think he's waiting a little bit. Bill McAnally talking to him on the radio, telling him he was calming him down just a little bit, says we got more time. Let's take care of that car.
Oh, buddy, go get him.
Oh, and there's one car that is off. That is the 26 of Robert Davis.
It's like pretty good impact. Don't know if he'll be able to get started back up and get back underway.
Yellow's out. Yellow is out, 6 to go.
Oh, man. First half of this race just went so good, Mike. We had talked about it, and now we can't go 2 or 3 laps without
what did you do to jinx
having
us?
a little problem. Replay of this. Yeah, he just got in the dirt all by himself.
Well, that's Gallegos there.
Gallegos turned around, maybe threw some debris on the racetrack.
Mike seems to be okay, and
possibly happened behind Mike Gallegos.
He hit that tire barrier hard.
He did. Tire barriers, they have been getting used up today, that's for sure. Safety crews.
Taking off that Hans device. Unbuckling. Now climbing out. There's Robert Davis, 45 years old, out of Atascadero, California. This his first ever West Series race.
Well, he was 8 laps away from finishing it.
Looks like he's okay, and that's good news. Got a little smile on his face. I mean, you know he hit hard.
Yep.
Well, it's good to see Robert's okay, and it doesn't seem that there was a lot of debris put on the racetrack. They're going to have to obviously tow his car. There's some.
Go up a little bit. You see the cone knocked down there, possibly from him, but everybody's early apex in that corner, so could have been one of 40 cars.
We've shown that tow truck on television way too much today.
Yeah, these guys, the safety crews are getting some good airtime today.
Well, while they hook up Robert Davis's car and tow it off, we'll take a break. Back with the conclusion of the Bennett Lane Winery 200 in a moment. The drama of the finish of this race is really going to be something special. It's just getting to it.
Will it ever end?
That has been the problem.
We don't know.
You know, the battle between Jason Bowles and Eric Holmes, I think, is going to be something really special. But we got to get there.
I think you're going to see a green-white checkered at this point with 5 to go, Mike. You know, by the time they get back by, it may be a green-white checkered finish. Still going to be safety vehicles still on the racetrack. We're showing 5 to go at this point, so when they come back by, it will be 4 to go. So it's probably going to put them in a green-white checkered. What do you think?
I bet you're right.
Well, hope I'm not. Probably am. Waving the green flag. You see the NASCAR official down on the end right here.
Pit road is open.
Telling the drivers pit row is open. Waves a red flag, means it's closed. Because they do have to actually enter pit row there. Entering turn 11 there. If you forget about it, you lose that pit road entry. You have to make a whole nother lap.
Well, Jason Bowles so far has been able to hold off Eric Holmes, and it seems where Eric Holmes really wants to make his move is down there in the bottom at turn 11.
Yep, and we talked about it. That's the place where we see a lot of guys pass, because really if you've got the same horsepower, and a lot of these motors are almost identically horsepower-wise. There's 630 horsepower there with a spec motor. There's not a whole lot of place on the racetrack when you're wide open that you can pass them until you get down to a corner, so you can get in really hard, underbrake that driver, and get underneath them. So these drivers know this, so that's their strategy. You just got to be careful you don't get in that corner of them, because turn both of you around.
As they come up the hill towards turn 1 right there, and turn 2s and 2 and 3, they're just now getting Robert Davis's car off the track. And the good news for that is I believe we're going to go green when they're able to get around next time. Well, that's the good news. And same top 5. The positions did not change. Ryan Foster, however, has moved up into the 6th position. Austin Cameron has moved into the 10th, now in the top 10 when they restart. But it'll be Bowles, Holmes, Engelbright, Shrader, and Jamie Dick, your top 5 when these cars do restart.
Bill McAnally just now on the radio, got on the radio with Eric Holmes and said, have you ever raced a 3-hour race before in this series? He said, because Bill said, because I haven't.
Well,
Eric
I've never seen one.
laughed.
I've been involved in this series for a while now and have not seen a 3-hour race.
Yep, these guys are running the marathon. Hopefully gas will not be an issue in these cars. We've sat under red flag conditions enough, but we have taken, you know, another 5 or 6 pace laps that really not were counted. So we'll just have to wait and see that last lap if fuel comes into play with any of these drivers. Drivers weaving back and forth, getting some heat in these tires, getting that dirt and speedy dry off these tires. So important. Ready to go green. Going to be 3 laps to go this time by, Mike. So these guys will be racing very hard. It could get exciting.
Or we could have more cars get off the track.
Could be another caution. Hopefully not.
Here, I can call the green.
We'll listen to Jason Bowles' spotter. He's been getting some encouragement on the radio from Bill Sedgwick, his crew chief, as this youngster tries to win his 3rd road course.
We on 1 now?
In 2 years.
Brian, you hear me?
Jason talking to his spotter. Want to make sure we are 1 to go.
He'll know when that pace truck just takes a dive right.
Yep, he knows it's time to dance now.
So once again, Jason Bowles will lead the field back to green.
Green.
Oh, Eric Holmes got a little bit of run there, Mike, on the outside. Might have enough to get by Jason. Not quite enough, but boy, that could have been a scary moment there.
Heading up the hill, it is Bowles, Holmes, and Englebright, and right behind them, Shrader, but Jamie Dick trying to root the veteran Ken Shrader out of the way. Did you see that?
Shrader, yes, he was, but Schrader's able to get back on that gas. Got good forward bite. Not quite able enough to get around.
Austin Cameron moved up a couple of spots on that restart.
Con Hubert, that yellow 25 car, able to keep that car in the top 10.
Right, and now they make that turn around 7A. Here they come down the S's.
Oh, Eric Holmes got loose coming through that corner. Jim Englebright able to capitalize on that. Bad mistake there. Just overdrove that corner.
The mistake by Holmes and the advantage taken by Englebright.
And that could be the end of it for Eric Holmes, because he has to get back around Englebright now, and as he does, Jason Bowles strengthens the lead.
Boy, did you see him dive well?
Yes, he did. Good corner, man. He drove down in there, kept that steering wheel straight. So important when you're braking that hard to keep that wheel straight so you don't get turned sideways.
But what that did, the battle between Holmes and Englebright, look at the distance now ahead to Jason Bowles. It allowed him to gain even more ground on the field.
That's exactly what Jason Bowles wanted to see, is these two cars race hard like that to give him that little extra needed advantage.
Boy, look at the damage on the left rear of Eric Holmes' car.
Look at him steering them cars, Mike. They are up on that steering wheel. Eric Holmes is all over the steering wheel of this race car.
There's been a lot of beating and banging here, and Jim Englebright has not given any ground at all.
They got to remember, oh, trouble back in the back.
Ryan Foster turns it around. Still no caution.
Cars keep going underway. Oh, my!
That's Jeff Jefferson on his roof.
Barrel rolls. Hard roll. Wow, look at the window net comes down. He looks like he's okay. He just pulled the window net of that race car down, and man, did he go for a ride.
What a ride by Jeff Jefferson.
Jeff trying to climb out of that race car with all his safety equipment. It's hard to get turned out that window, but it looks like Jeff is okay.
Wow, listen to the crowd, would you?
Crowd applauses. Man, what a ride that was. He just launched over them turtles.
Jeff Jefferson, great short track racer from Washington State.
It's the mogul here, pretty much out of control. Nothing he can do. Hard down on the right front. Man, hard impact. See the roof flaps come up, but at that point it was too late.
His teammate right behind him in that 10 car, Jim Warren.
Another tribute to the roll cages of these race cars. NASCAR has got these bars and the placement of these bars just right. Look at that barrel roll. Wow.
Seconds, Martin.
As you see the reaction from Jason Bowles' crew, not what they wanted to see, that yellow flag. Wow.
Well, the good news is Jeff Jefferson now walking around taking a look at his car.
Man, did he go for a ride down there.
Well, he's not happy at somebody.
No, may have gotten a little uncalled for help, not sure, but again, like we talked about, these drivers are getting so anxious within 10 to go. We talked about an hour ago. They just want to go to the front.
Jeff Jefferson, whose dad, George Jefferson's in the West Series Hall of Fame, as a great crew chief in this series, and Jeff, who has won a number of short track championships, his first real full season in this series. He was running in the top 10 when this happened. Let's take a look at it again.
Here's a little bit start of it, how it happened. You see the 41 car gets sideways and turned around,
and he
gets
bumped
stopped.
with, yeah, the 88 and the 41 got together.
See the 42 in the team car, Jim Warren, just had gone by. Not sure. There's 41, gets turned around. You'll see Jeff Jefferson come through the picture right here. There he goes. He had swerved around. Get around the...
It was a 59 of Kevin O'Connell.
Yep, Kevin appeared that he did not know both them team cars, Jim Warren, and he was hanging on for the ride here. Just nothing you can do at this point.
Kevin O'Connell was also running in the top 10 in that 59 when he hit Jeff Jefferson. And
closing speed there, he just had nowhere to go. I'm not sure he knew Jefferson was coming up on him. He had about 10 miles an hour on him. O'Connell turned across the racetrack, and Jeff Jefferson made an evasive move to keep from running in the back of him and just hit that turtle in the corner there and just took that car for a ride. Wow. That car is pretty much used up. I don't think there's no fixing that car. The front of the cage is pulled down.
Boy, Jeff Jefferson okay after this scary, scary barrel roll. We'll be back. Under caution here in the late stages of the Bennett Lane Winery 200, we have gone the scheduled distance of 64 laps. We'll have a green-white checkered finish. We'll get one attempt at it. Boy, and that, you look at that 42 car of Jeff Jefferson, that's a real testament to the safety now of these race cars. And
well, it is. And the roll cage did its job, and the seat Hans device did its job, and that's what's important about these race cars. NASCAR has done a fine job through the years with new innovations and making these cars safer and safer. Obviously, an accident like that has proven that they have achieved their mission.
You know, one of the big questions might be, does anybody have enough fuel to go? We're going to go these green-white checkered. I think we're going to go green this time.
Looks like it. Lights are off the pace car. I think the pace car driver is even getting anxious.
All right, well, let's see if we can make a couple of green flag laps here.
I think they'll be all right now. I'm sure the spotters are talking to these drivers saying, calm down, for goodness sake.
Well, the top 5 have been okay, but it was the second 5 where all this bunching up was occurring. And there will be one attempt at a green-white checkers. If the caution should come out at any time during this, the car that's leading will
freeze the field.
Will be declared the winner of the race.
Freeze it at that point. So Jim Englebright, a little body damage to the right rear corner of his car. Ken Shrader still able to keep that car his up there in the top 5.
You know these guys are hot. I mean, with the track temperature we saw at 138 degrees, they've been in this car for a long time today.
Lose a few pounds.
Longer than they're used to, that's for sure. All right, the pace truck is off.
Looks like they're not going green this time by.
Well, we saw him pull off, then he pulled right back on the racetrack.
Possibly something on the racetrack.
Pretty much assures us of a 3-hour race here today. We understand from NASCAR now that some of the cars were not in the right order. Matter of fact, we had 3 of them running side by side, all claiming one position. So NASCAR's got to get some of that straightened out and
they won't
get the
be
guys
happy.
in the right running order. And
won't be happy with that. These 3 here cannot figure out where they want to go.
Well, it's been a long hot day. You know, you're down to it, and
I want to give an inch.
You're 10th, and somebody tries to tell you you're 11th. You're going to argue.
Yep, you're exactly right. Jim Warren in that 10 car, he's not sure where he wants to be, but they're telling him on the radio. What happens is NASCAR will tell the spotters then tell the drivers. NASCAR will usually give you one warning after they tell you to put your driver in this position. If you don't do it, they'll black flag you. So you need to really listen to what your spotter says, whether you think it's right or wrong at the time.
Jim Warren, the 10 there. That's the team car to Jeff Jefferson. Mike David, the points leader, he spun once today. But Mike David now has made his way in the top 10. So this is not going to be as big of an advantage for Eric Holmes as it once was. Going into the race, Mike David led Holmes by 35 points in the point standings.
Yep, he did. And again, Mike David, we talked about him time after time. He's a points racer. He knows what it takes to win these championships. Look at the right side of the door on Mike David's car. It is bashed in big time. Left rear corner smashed. He's been beaten, battered. You see the 10 car Jim Warren, heavy damage to that. This track almost looks like a Martinsville or something. Looks like we've been on a short track.
I don't see one car out there that doesn't have something.
Look at them all
beat in on it.
There's the 59 car
that's Kevin O'Connell, who had been running the top 10. He's still 10th.
Yep, he's got heavy damage. He's overheating. As you can see, the front end of that car is all pushed in and not getting very good flow at all through the radiator. So he's got to get up to speed there. He'll only make it about another lap or two, but that's all he has to at this point.
All right, a green, white checkered finish.
Well, Jason Bowles is saying, man, I've got to do this again.
And remember, these guys have calculated their fuel to the end of this race, to the scheduled end of it.
Could be an issue.
So that might be an issue as well, and we'll just have to wait and see here.
Crew chiefs are not telling. They're not going to tell you whether we've asked some questions and nobody seems to want to talk about it. So they don't know for sure and they don't want to talk about it. So we'll just have to see what happens there. We'll know that last lap.
All right, now I think the pace truck will pull off, and this time he'll pull off to stay. Listen in to the spotter again of Jason Bowles as we get ready to restart. Green, white, checkered finish here to the Bennett Lane Winery 200. There's the green.
No communication there, really. Just kind of quiet. Jason's done it enough times where.
Back in the back again, they bunch up.
That's where all the trouble's been there in the past.
Ryan Foster in the 41, Tom Hubert in that 25. And it is Jason Bowles leading as they head up the hill towards that chute from turn 4 over to turn 7.
Eric Holmes has to hit his marks. He has to do everything just right. Bill McAnally talking to him, telling him to concentrate, do what you do best. He has to really focus on what he's doing now.
Now they're coming around turn 7A, and look at Ryan Foster.
Hard down in the corner, lock the front tires up in that 41 car. That's what happens. You'll get anxious and overdrive these corners really hard.
Let's see what happens when they come down now and get through that sweeper in turn 10 and go down to that tight turn 11.
Run through. Jason Bowles knows he has to hit his marks. Keep your eyes out of the mirror is so important. Drive forward. Eric Holmes' radio having problems with it. He talked about it earlier.
Well, it's
right up on Jason Bowles' bumper.
All driver now. Holmes got a fender inside.
Looked at that inside, did not get the run that he needed. Jason's so good off that turn 11, but this next lap is going to get real interesting, Mike.
White flag is out. Final lap here.
A little bit of smoke out of the back of Jason's car. Not sure if that was a little speedy dry or what, but appears to be a little bit of dust or smoke out of the 22 car.
Final lap. Jason Bowles has not won this season. Eric Holmes has won 3 of the 5 races in this series so far this year. And it's Holmes who's going to try to make a move.
Oh, to the outside, little love tap there, Mike. Let him know he's back there. Got to be so careful. We talked about it. These guys do not want to wreck each other.
Boy, Eric Holmes trying to just root him out of position, not able to do it. Jason Bowles holding his ground.
Come down the corner, down towards through the S's. Turn 11 is where it's going to happen, if it happens. Hard through turn 10.
Well, I think there's a tire rub a little bit there on the 22, and they have made contact with each other all day today, and now here comes Holmes on the outside. It's going to bump him a little bit.
Bowles got to protect that bottom side like he's doing. Got to get a good run here. So important. Looks like he might be okay at this point.
Here they come to the checkered flag. It's going to be Jason Bowles.
Wow.
Winning the Bennett Lane Winery 200 presented by Supercuts.
Good.
Eric Holmes finishes second, but the youngster Jason Bowles. Oh, yeah, and a fist out the window. What a great job he did today, Dan.
Yes, he did. He did everything just right. Both these drivers, we talked about it. They're both points racing. They had to bring this car home in one piece, bring them home both in the top 5 so that they could gain points, and they both were able to do that. Smart race car drivers.
You know, and what a classy move there by Eric Holmes, who drove alongside of him and gave him a thumbs up. That was a great race at the finish. I thought both guys raced each other clean. They were both aggressive and going for it, but Jason Bowles, a great job to hold him off.
Yes, he did. And Eric Holmes gave him a little up tap there down through the corner. Not too hard, not to turn him around, let him know that he was back there, tried to razzle him up a little bit, not able to do that. So he just said, I'll finish off for second. That's where I need to be.
Well, Jason Bowles will come around and head towards victory lane. His 3rd road course win over the last 2 seasons. Getting congratulations from the other drivers in the field. Jim Englebright finished 3rd. Tom Hubert a strong 4th, and Ken Shrader was 5th unofficially here in this race.
Well, Shrader will be happy with that. He talked about it. Didn't think he had a top 5 car. Able to come home 5th place here today. Sunrise Ford, sponsor on Jason Bowles' car. They got to be proud of him. Outstanding effort by him and Bill Sedgwick in the hole.
Bill Sedgwick, who came on really after the first race of the season.
Had to make some major changes to some of the race cars.
Yeah, he said he really had to almost start from the ground up building cars. And
a little altercation towards the back of the field, possibly a little retaliation there. 77 car.
That's Andrew Myers,
gets in the back of Johnny Borneman.
Gave Borneman maybe a little love tap.
Maybe a little return. Don't know.
And Jason Bowles is going to be a happy victory lane. This will be his first win with Bill Sedgwick as the crew chief. As you know, Sedgwick, not only a former champion driver himself and a former winner here, was also the crew chief for Mike Duncan when he was a champion in this series. And heading into victory lane now.
Big help to his whole effort, his team, to bring somebody like Bill Sedgwick into the picture. Past driver.
Whenever you're ready, Natalie.
Jason in the car looks pretty cool. When you got a good handling race car, Mike, I tell you, it's a lot easier on a driver than it is when you have a hill handler.
He doesn't look like he's sat in a hot race car for 3 hours. Ready to climb out of the car. Let's go down to Natalie Taylor.
Hey guys, Jason's finally getting out the hot car. Jason, celebration, crew members flocking in. Jason, long hot race, but let's talk about that last lap. It had to take a lot to be able to hold Eric Holmes off.
Yeah,
give us an idea of how you did it.
It was tough. We stopped for fuel before anybody, and I was running out that whole last lap, but I was just doing everything I could. I knew where he was strong, and I just made sure I got through those areas really good, and he raced me real clean. So it was a great race, a great day for Sunrise Ford.
Hey Jason, first win this season, but this was the road course you didn't win last year. What is it about you and road courses?
Oh, just my road racing background, I guess, and we've got a great car. This car's undefeated at a road course. I could probably get a lot of money for it today.
Well, listen, I can tell you're hot. Go celebrate with your team. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Natalie, thanks a lot. And again, congratulations to Jason Bowles. And a hot day, he comes first. So let's take a look at our top 10. Eric Holmes finishes second. Then it's Jim Englebright, Tom Hubert, Ken Shrader. Jamie Dick, the rookie, comes home with a good finish, finishing 6th. Austin Cameron 7th, Kyle Kelly 8th, Mike David 9th, and Jeff Markshire 10th.